people showing up every streaming day. Brains and vibes, she leads the pack. Now buckle in, no looking back. That dark night, let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Listen, okay, I was late. I understand this, but I'm late because I'm upset with Xmind. Okay, so this is a thing. This is a thing with software these days where you buy a subscription for a year. You're like, oh, because look, I do usually just do a monthly. Okay, that's what I do, a monthly subscription. Because I'm like, I know I can't, I'm not going to fork out that much money. Yeah, sure, I can save. But if I buy a yearly subscription, so some special software, I do that. Okay, I'll buy a yearly subscription, like for a VPN or something. Cool. Did that for Xmind. So I start, you know that I do Xmind a lot. Okay, stopping by to drop a like. Thank you so much, Cage Fiedler. Because you see now, everybody's names are all over the freaking place. So they, I don't know if you're Master Caecilius. I'm not too sure. The profile pictures all blend into one in my head. But thank you so much for dropping the like. So here, let me continue my explanation and my rant. Okay, so, yes, I did that for Xmind, and you know I use Xmind all the time for diagramming, and I love it. So I bought a year's plan. But then, suddenly, every time I start trying to make a new map in my Xmind app online, no matter which platform I access it from, no, you need to upgrade because you can only have 50 maps at 50 maps at a time. In your current plan. I thought I had unlimited maps before. That's what I paid for before. Oh, but listen, my subscription band, it's gone. My subscription band is no longer here. So I have to now. Same thing happened with my antivirus. Same thing. So you buy at least with the antivirus, once it expires, the year expires, then you're good. Okay, then it's like, okay, well, now we're going to put you onto the new one. Yeah, I'm fucked. I have to buy another subscription, or just not have any more maps. So I'm being punished for loving Xmind, and I was like, okay, fine. Let me go and see shall I try and do Miro? Shall I do this and that? Basically same amounts of money, and just nothing beats Xmind. I'm locked in, boys. So I was gonna try and sort that out before I started, but then I was admonished by Creamage. I was called a racist, latent FD signifier. So we're messed up now. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do right now. If I save it locally, I don't think it'll. Yeah, it doesn't even let you do it locally. Open local file. So if I open a local file on my Xmind, will it just go home? And I go new map, just a blank map. Okay, it'll let me do that. And then if I save as current device, will you let me? Okay, cool. Candace Owens versus feminists. I can at least save them on my computer, it seems like. So let's see how that goes. Hey Wade, morning guys. Grumpy and sad kitty makes chat grumpy and sad. Yeah, grump, grumple, grump. But I'll be fine. It's just when I want stuff to work, I'm so easily displeased and so easily pleased. It's not a good place to be. Okay, anyway, we are on our way. And let me just retweet us so that, again, another thing that we're paying for is going live on X, and I don't know when. We can stop that next month, I suppose. If we find the live stream. Okay, live. Okay, there we go. We're good. It's not the end of the world. You'll be right. I'll be all right. Exactly. The only thing that is the end of the world is the end of the world. I don't remember which movie that came from, but I really enjoyed it. And you go, oh shit, yeah. It's not the end of the world. Okay. I don't want to... I'll change the background for you guys before I share my screen because we don't want to blind anybody. Okay, map. Okay. Let's get our background music on just now. Tree chart. No, we don't want tree chart. We want timeline. Okay, there we go. So, what we're doing today, if you looked at the thumbnail, but you don't ever look at the thumbnail, you're just here no matter what I'm doing, right? So, we're looking at the Surrounded that came out about 15 hours ago. With our lovely Candace Owens. I wonder if she brings anything Jewish up. I don't think you can, but the whole point that she is going to be talking about is feminism. She's surrounded by feminists in another Jubilee episode we've got. You watched the Candace vid yesterday. This should be interesting. Well, I'm glad. So we're doing it a little bit differently. Just a tiny bit differently. So what I did is I made a little cut of all her claims, and we can discuss the claims ourselves as an intro. That's what we're going to do. And then we'll go into the normal diagramming. All right. So first we diagram the claims, and then we go into the actual video thing. But I just want to do one thing at a time and go and get our music for the background. Provided by Creamage. Okay. Oopsie, that's not how that works. Control all, open. If anyone else has watched it, let me know. Is the background music okay? I hope there's no echoing. Whatever, we're back on the virtual audio cable. So let me know, as usual, if there's a problem, we'll fix it, and then we'll get into it. You're all here for the live experience. Seriously, it can change from one day to the next. If I don't touch anything, it'll still do it. Okay. Also enjoy the daisy fur. Yeah. It's kind of loud, but it sounds fun. No, we don't want it kind of loud. Let's bring it back. Where is it? Can bring it down to 3. I broke it down 3. Don't know why it's so loud. Like it's on 3%. But it's because of just the percentage wise that you use with the apps, between the apps and the that. Anyway. Jazzy Jams, yeah. Courtesy of Creamage. So. Is it okay now? I changed it slightly. Maybe it's the chat mix? No, that's not how it works. Hello? No. Okay. Let's go and bring it up. Let's get our... So what I've done, as I said, I've cut the videos up. So let's get a video file. Unfortunately, that means that I might skip around a video a million times, but you're used to this by now. And if you're new, I feel sorry for you. Okay, debate asset videos. We've got Candace Owens intro. Okay. Have a sus. It'll start getting echoey if I do. I'll have to... Because it'll start playing if I go to my... That's the reason I don't do that, that it all starts echoing. Because it'll start playing if I go to my... Just shut up. That's the reason I don't do that, that it all starts echoing. Because it'll start playing if I go to my... Just shut up. That's the reason I don't do that, that it all starts echoing. Because it'll start playing if I go to my... Just shut up. That's the reason I don't do that, that it all starts echoing. Jesus! It sounds like it needs a "your call is very important to us" message inserted in that background music. Did you hear it? You see? Because it plays all my audio. Okay, we good.
Hi, my name is Candace Owens. I am a podcaster, a mother, a wife.
Hold up. Now, where are you playing through? Where's this audio playing through? Because it's not playing through for me. You know what? No, then we have no background music. I'm arguing with myself in my head. Infinity is way too many. Yeah, you can't handle this. Okay. How am I going to get this audio? Mute video. No, I want... Okay. No, that's not going to work either because I've got the media player playing. We did have the GG going before. So if I play this...
Hi, my name is Candace Owens. I am a podcaster, a mother, a wife, and also...
Don't fucking lie. Oh my god. You know, just once I'd like to just start a stream and not fight. Just not fight with it. Hi, Cal. Bye, Cal. Okay.
Testing your speakers on stream.
Okay, you know what? No. Just play out. Play out the... Play... Not media. Just do this. Okay. Now please tell me this fucking works.
Hi, my name is Candace Owens. I am a podcaster.
Can you hear her though? Can you hear her? Jubilee presents Smurfs 4. That's what you're supposed to hear. You're supposed to hear Smurfs, guys. I couldn't hear it though, which is kind of essential. But hi, Devious Chris. Candace in a cave. This is how we do. It's not that Jubilee like yeets you out of the earth, out of orbit. It's just that you have to dispute it, and I just don't want to have that dispute over and over and over again because you guys know it takes me 3 hours to get through 10 minutes of anything that I cover. So yeah, there is no arguments about fair use when it comes to what I'm doing, but the automatic tagging work happens, the automatic flagging happens, and then I have to fight with it. And no, we don't have time for that, so that's why you have Smurf Candace, and I think it's pretty funny. Let's get into it. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go.
Hi, my name is Candace Owens. I am a podcaster, a mother, a wife, and also the author of the upcoming book, Make Him a Sandwich.
I didn't know that her upcoming book's name was Make Him a Sandwich, but it sounds like, ladies, stop being full of shit and be good wives.
And today I am surrounded by 20 feminists. My first...
And those feminists include male feminists as well, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so what I've done, like I said, I put all her claims together. So, what are you laughing at? At the name of her book? Did you not notice that? Okay, let's get... I'm just gonna... I won't diagram live just yet. But, let me go. Clay... It's... Candace. Versus 20 feminists. Okay. And I'm going to have claim 1, claim 2, and claim 3, claim 4. So she has 4 claims. If you guys are new to Jubilee, she has 4 claims. And she has to argue them with people, and then people they get voted out if they're not doing well, or if Candace is just getting boring, as we noted in the previous Jubilee that we covered was Jordan Peterson. And sometimes when the actual opponent, the challenge person is not doing much for you, then they just vote out the conversation. So anyway, we have a recurring character as well. From that debate, we actually have her in, I think it's in claim 2 or 3. She comes in. But anyway, here's claim 1.
First claim is that the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy.
Okay, so the first one is the sexual revolution has devalued women. I can get on board with that, okay? And made them infinitely more unhappy. Like, hold up, guys. Do we have to use these words? But of course we do, because we're on Jubilee, and this is how we have to word our claims so that we can be inflammatory, so that we can get some blood sports. I understand it. But hey, go off, Queen, with the infinity words. So the sexual revolution. Sexual has devalued women. I think it is devalued women in a way that, yeah, it actually has objectified them more than feminism claims that normal patriarchy does. That's what I think. But let's see what her arguments are. The point of going through the claims like this before we go into the whole diagram, the whole discussion, is to figure out what she could be. I'll lay them all out and what we think her arguments would be. I know that some of you have watched it. I've only watched like a few minutes, but I'm just thinking of the arguments myself that I could come up with. Okay, so sexual revolution has devalued women, and please, while we do this, put your thoughts of the claims in chat. We're not engaging with what these people on stream are saying yet. We're not going into their arguments. What are your arguments when this claim comes to your enlightened ears? It made it easier to sexually objectify women, I guess. That's a good point, Gabriel. That's what I feel. That's another way of saying what I feel about them being devalued. Feminism needs the tax base paid mostly by men and the cops and military as reinforcement to even exist. There is a later claim that kind of relates to that idea. The sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely. Obviously, I think everybody here is going to be like, really, with the infinitely more unhappy. Just hold on. Let's go here. I just want to go a little bit back. Sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy. So that's it. Less happy. I don't know about the infinitely, but I think it's created a bit of strife. Oh gosh, you popped up again. I'm so sorry, but you popped in again. So hi. Some women devalue themselves, in my opinion. What has sexuality itself done to us? It's also made women need to act more like men. Absolutely. That's where I sit with feminism and with the kind of sexual revolution stuff. It's like, I don't want people to be, it's not like I'm sitting and going, let us shame women for being a little bit sexually promiscuous. But at the same time, I'm like, you do not need to be like a man. You don't need to behave like a man for you to be valuable. You can value monogamy and be okay with that. You don't have to pretend. Because I had that same thing that I'm like, am I supposed to? I need to enjoy a strip club because I'm a sexually liberated woman. No, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't think like a man, and I accepted that, and I'm infinitely more happy. Okay, objectification has always existed traditionally. They were still considered property and dowries, so they were literally objects of trade, and required dowries. Okay. Feminism needs a tax base. Okay, Skeeter. Okay, I think we're good. So it made it easier to objectify women because they're part of it. They've been tricked into doing it themselves. Okay, devalued women. So we have to obviously, I think if we were going to talk about devaluing women, what do we mean by value? And my immediate instinct was to go to objectification. So what does that mean about my value, my idea of value in a woman? Devalued. Yeah, it's made their value seem only their worth related only to the fact that they're sexual objects. I think that's what I mean by devaluation through the sexual revolution. Women are more accessible, I suppose, but then again, they aren't at the same time, because they become more fussy, but at the same time, then they just hook up with everyone. Yeah, it'll be interesting to get into the conversation. Prediction. The majority of this is going to be Sitch's law of what is feminism. Okay, let's do a prediction log. Prediction log. Creamage. Daisy, say hello, baby girl. That's why the scratch post, the janky scratch post is visible to you guys for that reason, so you could see Daisy do. See, do a screechy, screechy. See how the state of those screeches. See at the bottom, it's okay. Then all the way at then as you get higher up, it's... Anyway, let me get my chat out so I can copy paste you guys a lot easier. Give me your predictions as well in chat. Don't just let Creamage say how things are gonna go. Okay. Just pop out the chat before I start echoing all over the fucking place. Pop out chat. There we go. Background music, such a jam. Oh, mamma mia. Okay. Prediction. Majority of this is going to be the majority of Stitch's law. What is feminism? I think it might be a bit more than it might be. It might be just all the effects of feminism is what I'm seeing. What is the effect of feminism? Isn't the main argument that they seem to be having. Okay, there we go. I'm guessing Candace will have pretty reasonable prompts. Oh no, Gabriel! But probably bad arguments. Okay, let's see. So this first prompt, what do you think about it? The first prompt is the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy. What do you think of that one? Okay, so Gabriel. But probably because Candace is a clown. I mean, she is rather clownish. It's fine. Okay, so it's a fine claim. Okay, cool. I'm good with that. Let's actually get the diagram out. Minus the infinite part, y'all. The infinite part, like, get your ass out of here. We're beyond this. We're smarter than this, ladies. Okay. Get the X-Mind. There we go. Right. So here's your claim 1. And just any feedback on this one is the sexual revolution. We've kind of spoken about it. It's easier to make we'll put here the keywords, just objectification. Maybe we make it a floating topic as well. Okay, this is what we thought that would bring up. She'll be arguing against emotional arguments while getting increasingly emotional, says Kermit. Okay. It looks like she doesn't, just from me cutting through everything. It looks like she doesn't do that. But they do get very catty, they get catty in this. I saw, but I've put your predictions here. Okay, I'll put this as a yellow because it's commentary. Commentary things get yellow. Okay. I would expect them to talk about objectification, but so far what I saw, they did not actually. It seems like the person who starts off with this discussion with Candace came in wanting to address a certain statistic and bring that up, and that's why they go with that. Okay, but anyway, that's claim 1. Claim 2, let's see how she goes. And I thought it was reasonable, but then some of them I'm like, girl, Okay, so here we go.
Less happy. My second claim is that no career will give women as much joy and fulfillment as raising children.
Okay, her second thing is no career. Obviously, the whole thing that we got with other Jubilees is it's very general claims, very generalized claims, very broad statements. Is that who you are, Kermit? Oh, you know why? Okay, guys, PSA, YouTube has changed from showing your... Okay, there are 2 things that are part of your profile. Your channel name, which is like your username that you use, and your @ which is your handle. So these 2 things would be different. The channel name, apparently those can be duplicated, so it's fine. But your handle cannot be used more than once. So you've been assigned a handle, and your handle is different to your channel name. So Kermit GTT was your handle that you put in at some point. And some people they didn't even put it in. You can see, I think Gabriel over here has been given a number. So yeah, guys, go and change your your handle in your YouTube settings if you don't want people looking at your name there. Mine's the same. But yeah, they fucked around with names, and it's freaking annoying, especially on mobile, because everybody's got a million numbers and shit, and you're trying to @ them on mobile, and that there's no autocomplete. So thank you, YouTube. Really appreciate it. So yeah, some people's handles are their real names. Feels bad, man. Yeah, because I think it is. Sometimes it's put in the auto. So all right. Let's go. So no career. She says no career whatsoever. No career can... Sorry, let's get this large enough.
My next claim...
No career will give women as much joy and fulfillment as raising children. Okay, as a person who does not want children, I should categorically be against this claim, yes? Because I'm like, oh no, I'll be missing out on the joy of raising children and all of that. I am not fulfilled. I will not be fulfilled in the way I can be having children. But I'm kind of in a weird position with this because actually I think most women would be fulfilled by having children, and I don't doubt that I would be more fulfilled. I would have some sort of crazy revelation of some sort, but I would also have an incredibly rough time if I had children, and my child themselves would also have an incredibly rough time. So I've decided I don't want that. So even though you can wave this fulfillment in front of me, I'm like, sure thing, I just would not like it. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I can believe that and still not want children. That's where I'm at. Oh, Kermit's gone. No, sorted. There you go. I predict that Candace won't pick anyone who pushes her position as her final selected opponent. What do you mean by pushes her position there? Could you expand on that for me? She won't pick anyone, because now the thing that she says about her opponent, we'll get to it, is that they, so I'll say, sorry, 1 of 40. Of 44. There we go. Sorry, just changing that. Yeah, she says she chooses this person because they can understand each other or something like that. You will get to it. It's part of this. Okay. So claim 2 is anyone else has any comments of that in chat about no career will give women as much joy and fulfillment as raising children. Very, very generalized claim. It's very easy. The arguments you have with that claim is there is a lot of deep fulfillment you get from raising a child, and whereas a career is not fulfilling enough. That's the argument that she's going to give. And then I suppose a feminist will say, no, you can be fulfilled by a career. A career is a challenge. A career takes up a lot of your time. So maybe if you want to have a fulfilling career, you should leave the kids out of it, because there are women wanting to have a career and be a great mom at the same time. And there are times where that just doesn't gel, because your kids really, really do take precedence over your career. And that should be, I think that's the way it should be. It may return one day. Kermit may return. I would enjoy that. Okay, so one of Kermit. She lives in the past, sadly. Matt Schaefer. Okay, so Matt. You see, Matt's also got numbers in his name. I guess I'm going to go with a name closer to my usual handle. Ringlow Juice. Is that you, Cyber Ringaroo? I don't know. Okay, claim 3.
And as raising children. My next claim is that we live under a matriarchy, not a patriarchy.
This is wild. Okay, I'm not too sure. Like, I'm not wild about the patriarchy, boys. Okay? Indeed, it is me. Okay, good to have you around. So I'm not wild about the patriarchy being like, it's to blame for everything and what. But I'm not thinking it's a matriarchy. Okay? Like, I'm not thinking it's a matriarchy. So this is one of the more unhinged claims, I would say. So she would have to make some sort of finicky argument with words. She would have to get semantic, I think, for this to work. Okay, we live under a matriarchy, not a patriarchy. So we're probably not going to get to that claim today at all, but the point is just have a think about it. I think it's the most unhinged, so there you go. This claim too will just be, but it's kind of like a nuh-uh, yaha, nuh-uh, yaha. That will be that argument. Here I think there should be more of an intimate discussion, and more of a nuanced discussion. Okay, here, what the hell? The big question mark. The matriarchy thing is pretty silly, even if it's true. Society is becoming more feminized in some ways. Yeah, sure, because I don't know, what will the argument be? Oh, behind every strong man is a woman? Is that what she'll be? Or I don't know. I'm not a fan of this one. It's the worst one, I think. Then let's go into claim 4.
My final claim is that feminism has made things easier for men.
That's an interesting one. I haven't heard that. It's feminism has made things easier for men. How has it done so? Obviously that is to that actually will own the libs, because the libs are like, no, feminism is supposed to make things more difficult for men, right? If it's more difficult for men, it's easier for women. Yes. So yeah, interesting. How do we do that? Feminism has made things easier for men. What? They have more paternal leave. She has lost her mind. Man, why did YouTube force this mini identity crisis on me? Damn, Monday. It did it last week. It started, and it seems like it's widespread now. So then claim 5, which is the person she chooses, right? So the feminist claim. Claim 5, which is feminist. Their claim is a little bit more nuanced. Okay.
I am going to choose Jenny to have.
So she chooses Jenny. We need to know feminist Jenny. Okay, we're gonna call her feminist Jenny. Jenny. and we'll keep an eye out for her when she does occur. Why Candace likes her, but this is why she says so. Let's see if she's right.
Have a further conversation with, because I thought that it was a respectful dialogue and I want people to be able to learn.
So she thought of it as a respectful dialogue.
From the differences, and I think she is probably the best equipped person to get that done.
Okay, so she wants people to learn from the differences, and that's why she wants that girl. Okay.
Yay! My claim is that I believe feminism is wrongly interpreted as anti-men when it...
Okay, so feminism is wrongly interpreted. Wrongly interpreted. Now listen. Okay, so she says it's wrongly interpreted as anti-men. You know what? It's not so much that it's wrongly interpreted as anti-men, like as in outward, from the feminists out. People that are receiving feminism see it as anti-men. No. The feminists took the idea of feminism and made it anti-men. They misinterpreted. So the misinterpretation that she's talking about, I think, is not so much in the audience. It's actually in the activists themselves. So maybe she's a reasonable feminist, and she doesn't see it as man-hating, but there are people that feminism to them is we mustn't have male children, shit that will blind you, stupidity, just absolute stupidity. That's their feminist way of thinking. So but I don't know, we'll see what Jenny over here thinks. What is feminism to her? We don't know what feminism is to her, but yeah, a lot of people, as in the really proper anti-men ones that blame men for everything and just hate men, just categorically the proper misandrists. Yeah, I'm not with them, but cool. Also now she has to back up the idea that it makes things better for men and women. Okay, I don't know which kind of feminism makes things better for men and women, but okay. It seems to me that identity politics itself makes everything bad. It doesn't make anything easy. Makes everyone sad, actually. Makes everyone angry. The people on the one side are angry because they have to now deal with this stupidity, and then the people on the other side, the identity freaks, they're unhappy because they're oppressed by absolutely everything and they can't see anything worth seeing in the world. So, great times. Okay, so feminism. Have I done a breakdown of trigonometry and the feminists? No, I did not do that one. I think we had other things on our minds at this point, but could keep it in mind for next week. Feminism wrongly interpreted as anti-men when it benefits both men and women. So that obviously was also in contrast to what the claim 4 was. If you look at this relationship, claim 4 is that feminism has made things easier for men, not women. No, I suppose the not women's implied, but yeah, that crap is wild. Interesting. I just hopped on this one because it was hot, so we can put it in perspective and put it in this timeline if we want. Candace Owens isn't a housewife. She acts like a feminist career-wise. This is true, Maverick. I think she's kind of called on that. If you look at like the sensation clip that they put in the beginning of the video, one of the things the girl says is, we want you to step out of the public eye and focus on what fulfills you most, like a little catty phrase. Yeah, I think that we start talking about that. This career thing comes up in claim 2, so maybe we'll get there. I think she's specifically referencing being easier. Interesting. I think that's actually a good prediction. That's where I can definitely understand that. I think so. So Kevin, Temple X, let's go. We are putting it as a not so much a prediction, Some feminists legitimately believe the patriarchy is also victimizing the majority of men. Without it becoming hate on their side. Yeah, plenty of people can't just handle any kind of political ideology without it becoming an excuse to hate the other side. Yep, seems like politics itself. Where are you? You're on live chat, so where's Kevin? There we go. I think she's specifically referencing sex being easier. Maybe that's it. It would be a good place to start. Probably relates to her first thing about devaluing. But remember, we know the limitations of this format. When we spoke to Cade about it, it's a bit annoying. The format itself doesn't lend itself to huge long conversations, but it also gives you a hint of what kind of arguments you might interact with around an issue. She states that her type of life is not encouraged by feminism. Interesting. Okay. So that's it. To be clear, I'm not a feminist. It's just worth noting they don't all agree on everything. No, they definitely don't. Feminism within itself is an interesting topic to try and navigate. But the reason I don't call myself a feminist is because I don't really align with the majority. I think it's stupid to need to call yourself, I want equal rights for women. Like that, yeah. I'm not special for wanting that. What do you want, a cookie? Yeah. Calling myself a feminist for that reason, we're past that. Okay. So, I'm just a human, a woman. I'm a woman. There you go. Okay. Let's get into claim 1. I think, is that it? Claim 5, yeah, I guess she's just gonna have to, the burden of proof is on her there. They got a film out of it. Candace has little nannies and as is married to the son of an English baron, her housewife experience is not reflective of the majority of her career woman experience is not reflective of the majority of women as well. Because she also has those multiple nannies and everything. That's not a thing for many women. And when it comes to them having a career, well, is it really? Are they going to be making exorbitantly high amounts of money that will allow them to have this nanny person involved and fairly compensated, or not? Sometimes it's much of a muchness. It's like, well, we would be paying this person to be a nanny. Maybe I shouldn't have a career, but who knows? Candace is a traditional woman only in the sense that she gives birth to her own children. Wow, what a pioneer. Okay, did my husband bring knickknacks here? Gordon? We're supposed to be eating healthy. And he might have brought like Cheetos basically into my house, and I'm very upset.
Benefits both men and women.
Or is it fire? Daisy, what you smell? Daisy doesn't like it when I make sniffing noises. Okay, let's get another video going. Let's go to video 2. Well, claim 1. A relationship takes time and attention. A real mother needs to make time and give the attention to her child. But all the attention, I don't know. Nanny, I had a nanny. And that's because my mom had her own business. But the thing is, we had like a special sort of case because she was working we lived in the salon that she built, or that she was using. We lived in, basically I lived at my mom's office. Okay. Single breadwinner households are nearly impossible unless the breadwinner is absolutely raking it in. Exactly. And being a single breadwinner household with a child, okay? So we've been a single breadwinner household, okay, before. And if we had to have a child, there's no freaking way that we could be a single breadwinner household. That's not a thing. Feminism, don't use a wok? What? For what? Feminism ending 2007. Women are now equal. The fight is over. Finally, we can rest. Wait, you mean we have nothing to do now? Time to create some friction. Linkin Park. What I've done intensifies. Okay. Good morning, Strands of Strange, who is also atheist gamer. Okay, let's go. Just let me know, man. 250k a year at least. Scary stuff. Yeah. We got 2 cats, but they don't have to go to school. So there's that. They don't have to go to school. They don't need clothes. They don't eat that much. Anyway, let's go into the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy. So what we're going to try is not do a dialogue only. We will do it timeline wise, okay, in terms of the structure of the diagram. I want to just capture their arguments, okay, and you guys can help me out if I'm not doing it properly, but basically we're trying to do the rephrasing of people's arguments rather than the dialogue specific question answer response, detailed diagram. It's more about we're diagramming their arguments, okay? So let's listen to the first person.
Is that the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy.
Hi, I'm
What's your
Samaya.
Samaya.
So we've got Samaya. Samaya as the first feminist to fight.
Nice
Okay.
to meet you. I'm Candace.
Nice to meet you too. So my question for you is, statistics show that 60% of women who are murdered by their intimate partners.
Okay, so we've got the fact checks, which are actually a lot more easy to read now with my little mask on it. So this is the fact check by Sam, which is their version of ground news, it seems like. UN statistics show that 60% of murdered women were killed by their intimate partner or a family member. Very cool. That would probably include, if we're talking about mathematics, an intimate partner does not have to be male. But anyway, this person's argument, Maya, is bringing up this fact about women being abused or attacked by their intimate partner. Feminism lets women get out of the house and get away from this. That's her argument. Just hold on. Let's go a little bit back.
Is statistics show that 60% of women who are murdered by their intimate partners.
60% of female murder victims murdered by their intimate partner. Okay, so I don't know if she gets to this point, but I suppose if you get given that statistic, let's figure out the argument she's making. Okay, well, feminism has made this number lower. Okay, so women are actually more valued, but the thing is, she hasn't really framed it properly. She's just like, my question is, and then she gives her this answer. She gives her the statistics.
Happy.
Hi, I'm
What's your name?
Samaya.
Samaya. Nice to meet you. I'm Candace.
Nice to meet you too. So my question for you is, statistics show that 60% of women who are murdered by their intimate partners, murdered by someone that they are in close relations with. That's according to the UN from 2023.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how is it that, women are so valued, quote unquote, in the home, and yet that's the place where they're at the most danger?
Okay, this is not really working, is it? Okay, so she's quoting UN statistics. So she's trying to say, how is it that women are so valued in the home? Okay, so she's taken the sexual revolution has devalued women. She's taken this claim and decided that that it means that women are more valued in the home. Okay, and the sexual revolution has removed them from the home. So I'm just gonna put like a yellow thing here. She's interpreted this. Interpreted claim 1 as women are more valuable in the household. Okay, and then her argument is, so I'm just going to say this. This is like her structure, I would say. If the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less than happy, then, okay, then it's necessary women are more valued within the household. Okay, so she has that as her main thing, like cool, if this is how it goes. Okay, but then her statistic, she's set up a whole argument that Candace hasn't made yet, but her statistic is proving, UN statistic proves that women are not safe in the household. Therefore, the other claim, Candace's is wrong. Okay, so I think that's what she's done with it. I feel like this almost backs up Candace's point. I guess it could. It could. It could also be the case that women will always be more prone to be victims of their partners rather than strangers. Yeah, exactly. She's framed this this statistic for her feminism, for her purposes. My motto is happy wife, happy life. You women can be a pain in the ass. Yes, we can, but you can't keep yourselves miserable just to keep us happy at the same time. Okay. So if you're not happy when your wife's happy, then you know what, you're fucked. Okay. So that's it. I think that's what her argument is. So I'm going to just put this all as yellow because it's my interpretation. Woo! Okay, that's what I think she's talking about. But also Sumaya will be red because the red is the feminisms. Or should we have? We should probably have Candace's red. The feminists will be pink. Okay. Why does modern feminism make this assumption that sex is the only value men place on women? I don't know. I think there are red pillars that make this happen, but also feminists have made that assumption themselves. You're right. Okay, and hold on, let me just copy paste. Yeah. So she brought that up. Her question is, if they're so valued in the household, why are they so unsafe? Okay. If the woman is a pain in the ass, change your sexual practices. Easy. Let me just check if I can change my moderation activity. Hold up sec. I just want to change the default. Because, I mean, it's trying to hold a lot of your guys' comments. Stupid. Sorry, I'm just trying to make a basic, yeah. Don't hold any messages. Fine, we'll not hold those. Try your best, okay? There you go. Okay, I've changed shit. Okay. Let's go. More video.
Okay, so I'm not sure what that has to do with the sexual revolution.
Right, the
Just
sexual
getting to
revolution.
the first claim.
The sexual revolution.
Okay, I think it's done. Guys, somebody try and insult women in the comments. They're a pain in the arse. I think I've turned it off. Okay. Thanks so much for approving all the comments as they come through, Creamage. Woman bad. Okay, so we have it questioned. We have Candace questions relevance. Okay, let's put you as full and red. Stupid things. Okay. Women smell like cheese and 12-day-old standing water. There you go.
I'm happy to answer it. I'm just saying that, you know, if you broaden that statistic, you
Sure.
are more likely in general just to be murdered by somebody you know. So,
Question relevance. You are more likely. So essentially, she's questions the relevance. She's saying that the statistic doesn't disprove her claim. That's what she's saying. It just proves something else. Okay.
of course,
But men are much less likely to be murdered by, their
that's
intimate
not
Men are much less likely to be murdered by. Men are much. Was she gonna say men are much less likely to be murdered by their partners? It's like, okay, you better say by your partners, because men are murdered more.
true.
Yes,
Or that
If you broaden that statistic, you
Sure.
are more likely in general just to be murdered by somebody you know. So, of course,
But men are much less likely to be murdered by, their
that's
intimate
not
partners.
true.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm sure, because
yeah, because she heard they're much less likely to be murdered, and she's like, what? That's not true. But they're much less likely to be. She agrees. Agrees. Men are much less likely to be murdered by intimate partners, but she has the caveat, because men are just less likely to be killed by women. Okay, that's her reasoning there. She's like, yeah, it's because it's kind of hard for a woman to kill a man. That's usually how it goes. And then we're going to go into the what's her audience demographic at this point? I don't know. She's got a lot of people that are they have Jewish derangement syndrome. They're properly, like, they're looking for it in everything. So it's a pretty healthy audience.
as to whether or not
The sexual 2023.
Yeah.
So how is it
Sorry,
that,
guys.
women are so valued, control their own reproductive capability, and yet that's the place where they're at the most danger?
Okay, so I'm not sure what that has to do with the sexual revolution.
Right, the
Just getting
sexual revolution.
first claim.
The sexual revolution gave.
I'm happy to answer it. I'm just saying that, if you broaden that statistic, you
Sure.
are
Sorry, the guys, if you're worried about my video navigation, it's pretty difficult through here.
more likely in general just to be murdered by somebody you know. So, of course,
But men are much less likely to be murdered by, their
that's
intimate
not
partners.
true.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm sure, because men are less likely to be murdered by women. Full stop.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that statistic makes sense to me. I'm still not sure how this correlates to whether or not
The sexual revolution increased women's ability to leave the house.
Okay, so her idea is sexual revolution increased sexual revolution led to more freedom for women. Okay, cool. They could leave the house.
Women's ability to control their own reproductive capabilities, women's ability to, you know.
Okay, so freedom for women. Let's go. Freedom of movement. Reproductive freedom. So you can choose whether you're preggers or not.
Control their own, like, capacity within the workforce.
Workforce. I'm not going to say capacity. She got stuck on this capacity within the workforce. She was like, that's a cool word. That's a cool way of phrasing it. And she just says it again. Workforce. Workforce. Just entering the workforce. Okay. Empreggers, no such thing.
In regards to their own sexual capacity. So it is the very fact that, like, the sexual revolution happened that made our access to the workplace much more, or just the public sphere in general.
I think what she's trying to get at is that with these extra bits of freedom, you get more safety, or you're able to escape more from these abusive what's a woman can leave the house. Well, this is true. I'm not allowed to leave the house. Why do you think I stream? Why do you think I always have to answer the doorbell? Because I can't go out. What are you talking about? So are we saying that women kill men in non-violent ways? Yes, probably more often that when a man kills a woman, it's probably not going to involve violence. That's what I would think. I'm sorry, I'm old school. Reproductive freedom is often just a euphemism for baby murder. Yeah. Again, if we're going to talk about abortion, everybody, I don't think you should consider abortion birth control. Okay? Use birth control. Abortion is not just, oh shit, I got pregnant and now I can just go ahead and just get... No, make previous precautions, guys. I can neither confirm nor deny that I have an ankle bracelet. Okay. So, entering the workforce. So this is supposed to give you freedom and make you able to get out of abusive relationships. I suppose you can have the independence. That's what I'm interpreting it as. So let's see.
Much more easy. So, like, without the sexual revolution, women would be much more confined to the place where they're at the most danger.
Okay, so they would be more confined. Okay, so with all of that, sexual revolution, more freedom. Without the, let's go. Without sexual revolution, women are more confined to the place they are most unsafe, in the home. I think that's kind of a, yeah, it sounds right, but it's like, so women leaving the house, that's where they'll be safer, when they're able to leave the house. I think it's better to word it, women are able to women are able to be independent and live alone outside of a family, outside of an intimate partner relationship. But now, what happened to me as soon as this was up, I'm like, oh, but the statistics about lesbians are going to come up. So let's see. Women are more confined to place they are most unsafe, the home. Okay. I think she could have approached this more with regard to having independence, not just getting out of the home. Having independence, but you aren't safe at home either. Okay, so okay, whatever. I feel the statement needs justification. Yeah, that she's well, she says that the way that she started this was she started it at that 60% of women. Let's put the prediction log somewhere over here. Yeah, is that 60% of women who are killed by their their intimate partner. Which is supposed to mean that in the home they are unsafe. Which means that they are not valued. She took this claim. That women are more valuable in the household because that's what they were before the sexual revolution. If the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy, then women are more valued in the household. If women are more valued in the household, they should be safer in the household. But this UN statistic proves that women are not safe in the household. Therefore, Candace is wrong. So that's what this woman's done. Right, so... Okay, so there we go. That's it. Without sexual revolution, women are more confined to the place they're most unsafe, the home. Uh-oh. And that's where they're not valued. Cool. Let's see what else we have here.
Isn't that true?
So you think that, just so I'm trying to understand your argument here, you think that if we didn't have the sexual revolution, less women or more women would be murdered? Are you saying that women are
More women.
Okay, so if we didn't have the sexual revolution, more women would be murdered. I suppose that's the claim that you would need some 60% of murdered women, Creamage. 60% of murdered women. So not 60% of women, like, oh, 60% of women are killed. It's 60% of murdered. People that are murdered. Women that are murdered. Okay. I like this question. This is a good way to frame it. She goes... how are we going to put it here? For more freedom, I think we're going to have to do it more. This is timeline-wise. So, are saying more women would be if there hadn't been sexual revolution. That's a very interesting question to check out. Oh, sorry, this is not supposed to be red. This is supposed to be here. These are all supposed to be pink. And this is supposed to be red. She says yes. She says that's exactly what's happening. There would be fewer women dead, guys.
And would be murdered for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I disagree with that.
She's like, disagree. We don't need this actually. I'll say it. More women would be killed if there wasn't a sexual revolution. Okay? And she's gonna say, I don't agree. We're keeping it simple here. We don't need to repeat when someone says, is this what you're saying or not? Because we're not going that far. So, I disagree. What Candace disagrees. Okay, what's this?
I still don't think it has anything to do with the claim that women are infinitely less happy because of the sexual revolution, which has devalued
I think
women.
you'd probably...
Okay, disagrees. Questions relevance again. Doubts relevance again. Okay. Relevance to her claim again. I think doubting its relevance is not important. She's made it relevant. She said this is her idea of value. You would have it. Maybe we are here. Here is the Sitch's law of it, where they're like, what does value mean? Okay, well, it seems like she has decided that value is keeping the woman alive. Where they're valued is, ooh, I think am I glitching out? Seems like I glitched out for a second there. Sorry, guys. Okay. Candace doubts relevance to her claim again. Okay, cool. I don't think that's what she should have done. But okay. Where do we go from here?
less happy if you're being murdered.
Well done! I think you'll be less happy. She says doubts relevance to her claim again. Okay, so it's not relevant, but you won't be happy if you're murdered. That's the relevance. Okay, murder is relevant. Okay. You aren't happy if you're being murdered. Okay, murdered. So it's kind of like a little bit of a ha-ha, see? A little bit of a gotcha. Or I wonder if that's going to be part of the clips that circulate.
Oh.
I like that she laughs. I think that's good that she laughs at that because it's like, it's pretty absurd.
Anyone just
Okay, yeah, I don't. Okay. Okay. There is definitely a correlation between personal relationships and domestic violence. And just to be clear,
Right.
if we're talking about just like a monogamous relationships,
Okay, so you're happy if you're being murdered. I think I'm just gonna put a lol there. There's some good times. Seems like there's some really good times that happened in this episode. But okay, so there's obviously a cut there because everybody was crying laughing. So she goes, there is definitely concedes correlation. Again, she did this before. Correlation between intimate comments and being a woman, I think. How did she even word it?
there is definitely a correlation between personal relationships and domestic violence. And
Yeah. Personal relationships, let's call it. Personal relationships. And domestic violence. Okay, she concedes that, but then she's going to now bring up the lesbians of it all. Okay, and then they're just going to disagree. That's as far as I've gone. They're just going to disagree on the lesbian of it all.
just to be clear,
Right.
if we're talking about just like a monogamous relationships, the most violent relationships that are on the books are between lesbian partners. Yes.
Okay, so let's see the fact check. Okay, domestic violence. But also, you know what I'm going to bring in? Okay, you're trying to say that women are in danger of men, mostly, right? Well, hey, lesbian have the highest level of intimate partner violence. Okay? And we have the fact check. A survey from 2013, boys, we need to redo these surveys, of bisexual women, and 40%, okay, from 2013 shows that 61% of bisexual women and 44% of lesbian women reported intimate partner violence. Okay, so let's just put the fact check here. Fact check. Survey 2013. 61% bisexual, and this is how you'll see how this girl tries to bring it around. 44% lesbian women reported intimate partner violence. Compared to 35% straight women. Okay, according to Stand for Families Free of Violence. Stand for Families Free of Violence. Okay, so that's the fact check. Fact checked. What color can we put them as? Green. Green. Whew, that's bright. Let's just relax. Okay. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Maybe bisexual, but not ready to be. After how many white claws would you need to have to be in a relationship with a woman as a woman? It's a lot more. My daughter is lesbian, but her partner tries to look like a guy. Yeah, it seems like that does happen most of the time. that I've seen that there is one girl who's more tough in the relationship than the other. Okay, so she's like, well, hey, by the way. Okay. So yeah, it seems like but the bisexual. So now this is what this woman is going to say. She's going to say, no, it's not that. It's not the woman, the lesbians. It's actually just because of the men. It's still the men.
Okay. There is definitely a correlation between personal relationships and domestic violence. And just to be clear, if we're talking about just like a monogamous relationships, the most violent relationships that are on the books are between lesbian partners. Yes, when people are intimate,
that's not a...
It's okay, Master Cassilius. You can join us on every Friday. We're going to be doing a slop cat video thing.
That is actually true.
No.
This is a different kind of cat video.
The statistic you're talking about is people who have faced domestic violence.
The statistic you're talking about is people who have faced domestic violence. Let's check if they changed this. No, it's the same. It's the same fact check. Man, usually they change the fact check if somebody brings a counterfactual, right? So, okay, she says, no. The thing that you're quoting here, refutes statistic as referring to women who have faced domestic violence. And she's saying that the reason that lesbians have faced more intimate partner violence is because they've been in relationships with men. But bisexual, no, okay. Don't worry, there are male feminists coming up. I don't know in this claim or the next.
Lesbians, yes, are more likely to have faced domestic violence, but that's because they typically came from relationships with men in which they're...
So she's like, nah, it's because they're from relationships with men. Have faced domestic violence. Lesbians have just faced domestic violence because they've been in relationships with men. So apparently it's still the men's fault. Lesbians are the most violent, men to blame. That's the reason. Have you got it? Okay. Men to blame, cool. Candace, what you got to say to that?
Lesbian relationships are the most violent relationships that we have on the books.
But we can move on.
But we can move on, yeah, because that is, I think we can move on when you're literally saying nah, yeah. As soon as you get to a nah, yeah, then be like, I'm saying nah, you're saying yeah, let's move on. I'm good with that. Go, Samaya. But she's like, reiterates the point, and let's move on. I don't think we need to. We're not doing the behavior bit of it. So let's continue.
Check that claim. The point being is that it's not exactly a stunning statistic to say that when people are in relationships, period, whether those relationships are homosexual, whether they're married,
you're saying that.
Oh, interruption.
The sexual revolution.
Let me finish. I've let you.
Oh, she's such a teacher. Let me finish. Oh my god, I want to channel this kind of confidence in my life.
Try to explain how this is correlated to happiness.
Let me explain how this is correlated to happiness. Don't cover your eyes like she's being rude. No, she was interrupted.
And I don't think it does. I actually think you're having a different debate right now.
And so she's just like, you're having a different debate right now. So again, she's just leaned on this triangle hands. It's the steepling. But yes, she's carrying on about the relevance. You're having the wrong debate here. Okay.
But yes, absolutely. It makes perfect sense that you are more likely in general when you are in a relationship because people are driven by anger by people that they know, whether or not we're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, a husband and a wife, a husband and a husband, or a wife and a wife. Yes, of course, the instances of domestic violence are going to take place when you're inside of a home.
So she is conceding. Listen, Domestic violence happens in a domestic setting. Whoa! Okay. Again, further concedes or further states how it makes sense. Domestic violence occurs in a domestic setting, i.e., when in a relationship. No matter how, what format. So it's like, yeah, we can break it. We can break those statistics all the way up. But the point is, if you're single, you're probably less likely to be murdered. So they just put it that way. If you're single, you're less likely to be murdered by your spouse because you don't have a fucking spouse. Single equals less likely to be murdered by spouse. There you go. Domestic violence only happens until your partner is domesticated. Well, then I'm never gonna have domestic violence in my life. My life. Okay, there we go. Right, guys. Yes, please keep reminding people in chat that their names are on display because of YouTube shenanigans. Change your channel handle in your settings. That's all I can say at the moment. Okay.
But the sexual revolution, encouraging women to give up their goods for free, which is what I'm speaking about. And
oh, okay, we're getting to her thing. Her thing is that her argument is the sexual revolution led to women giving up their goods for free. For free! So that you don't get any stability, you don't get any permanence, you just give up your goods for a good time. And that's all you do. You don't get anything else out of it.
Encouraging men not to marry these women or to have long-term relationships, what I am saying is a direct contributor to their unhappiness.
Okay. Sexual revolution of women giving up their goods for free without expecting marriage. Did she just say what else did she say about what to expect?
Relationship, because people are driven.
Expecting relationships or marriage leads to their unhappiness. So that's the same sort of example that I thought she was going to go with, which is, women running around and sleeping with everyone is not going to make them happy. Maybe some women, and I mean a very, very small number of women are just like that. They just don't have that feminine weakness, I suppose, that they're not man horse, I suppose. But yeah, most women. Creamage has provided for everybody a how to change your YouTube handle, a 1-minute video. So go along and do it. I actually disagree with the claim. So you disagree with the claim that the sexual revolution has made women unhappy? Or are you saying the sexual revolution hasn't... What, yeah, you disagree with that? Do you think it's made women happier? The irony that Candace also argues in other settings that women are commodifying their sexuality via OnlyFans while also claiming it's free here. Interesting. Yeah, I think that would be an interesting way. She needs to figure out her wording then, because she could say, well, what they're doing is they're leaning in to that sexual revolution and commodifying it. They're actually making use of the current state of affairs to continue to commodify. I think it still goes along. For free, she would still consider that for free, I think, because it's literally for monetary gain instead of in security. But I guess you could make the argument that monetary gain is security. It just doesn't have to be with one man. I think the freedom aspect is good. I mostly think that may contribute mainly to the unhappiness is that there might be expectations of the other direction nowadays. Yeah, the freedom is good. Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. The freedom itself is not bad, but the execution of it, the overcorrection becomes a problem. So that's something that's like a middle ground that you could get to. Okay, unhappiness, we're getting
by
votes.
anger by people that they know, whether or not we're talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, you know, a husband and a wife, a husband and a husband, or a wife and a wife. Yes, of course, the instances of domestic violence are going to take place when you're inside of a home. But the sexual revolution, encouraging women to give up their goods for free, which is what I'm speaking about, and encouraging men not to marry these women or to have long-term relationships, what I am saying is a direct contributor to their unhappiness because women are giving up their goods.
She spoke over girl. She's like, I'm not finished. To their happiness. Fuck you.
For free, and women are now entering the workplace, and that does not actually make them happy.
Okay, she does add this thing that they're also adding. Women are entering also entering the workplace, and that doesn't make them happy. Okay. That would be nice. Like, listen, my baby. I say this to my husband. My baby, the workplace doesn't make me happy. Doesn't make me happy. Doesn't make me fulfilled. He would say the same thing. He would say the same thing. He'd be like, I want to go on a jet ski. I want to sit and do nothing all day. Thank you. I also am not happy with the workplace. What makes you so special? Your vagina makes your unhappiness more special. Get the fuck out. Do I think sexual relationships occur in the Middle Eastern countries? Yes. Yeah. But you don't have to become whores, guys. Just don't become whore. It's not fun. I mean, I haven't tried it, but I don't think it doesn't look like a good idea.
Pause. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Okay, so that is the summary of Sumaya. I don't know if we return to this argument, or if somebody brings a new format. Okay, so we got Candace's one, which is basically you're giving up the goods for free, and that's not a good one. Okay, that's not a good thing. Okay, and that's making you sad. Okay, so that was Candace's one. It's true, though, that society will probably always care more about the unhappiness of women than the unhappiness of men. Because we're so weak. That's all women do, eat hot chip and sit on jet ski. That is what I do. Daisy and I do that. That's me and Daisy. Axie and Gordon go to work. Okay. Let's see who's next.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you? I'm Candace.
Julian. This is Julian. Okay. Thanks, Brain. You remembered this name, but when you actually meet people in real life, you forget their names. Nice.
Nice to meet you. Julian, my pronouns are
I think it's probably when I read a name, I'm a lot better.
they, them. It's very interesting
Candace is like, so you're one of them. Don't be mean to they, them.
to think of it when we just think about the gender binary. It's, how do we place value on human beings in general? And
Okay, so her question, let's just keep her questions out there. How do we place value on human beings? This is this is a Petersonian way of attacking this argument. What do you mean, value in humans? Why does she have hair at the back? Because she needs it. You don't want an open back. Okay. It gets cold back there. How do we put value on human beings in general? Cool.
So when we think about, placing value that comes from
Hey, remember in the, what was it, in the 2000s, did you got, the girls, I never did it, but, no, seriously, I never did it. My friends tried to make me do it, but they would do this. Oh, I can't even, my hair's just always has a middle path, but they would do this, they would put that poof, okay? It looks like she put the poof at the back. She looks like a samurai. Yeah, she'll fuck your shit up, so don't mess with her. I mean, guys, no, this is wrong. We're using the wrong pronouns. Come on. We are intellectually flexible. We can do this. Because they started doing in Murderbot. I'm watching Murderbot, and they've got a they, them in it, and they seamlessly do it, and I'm trying to follow nicely and see how it goes. So, leave Julian alone. There are they. Okay.
a place of power, right? So I think let's select like the Victorian era. Think about, placing.
She's got a soft voice. I know I've made them squeaky, but she's got a. I just did it again. They've got a soft voice. I just shat on you guys, and I still can't do it.
Marry these women or to have long-term relationships. What I am saying is a direct.
Pause. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
How are you? I'm Candace.
Nice to meet you. Julian, my pronouns are they, them. It's very interesting to think of it when we just think about the gender binary. It's, how do we place value on human beings in general? And so when we think about, placing value, that comes from a place of power, right?
Okay, placing value comes from a place of power. So that would be a premise, a proposition, as part of an argument. So, okay, let's see if she just has propositions that she just throws out, or if she makes a conclusion with them.
So I think let's select like the Victorian.
Fuck this! I still am getting it wrong. I think it's because of the squeaky voice, guys. It's not. I'm not misgendering on purpose.
Era. You have this dominant group of people coming from white supremacy, deciding who gets to have a proper status in the world. And
okay, so they're using this to grandstand about all the baddies in the world. So I'm just gonna have white supremacy. I'm putting the buzzwords in. Should I put I'll put them in even like is there a buzzword sort of, there we go. Let's put that there. Phil. Peak. Come on, none. There we go. White supremacy. Master's upset. I don't think it's about looking good. I think it's about looking different. So, yeah, this looks different. Okay, this insanity is funded by China. Okay.
so that is already like taking human beings and devaluing them. And so what the sexual revolution did was to help people seek out empowerment, which increased value, no matter the gender.
Okay, so placing, the sexual revolution allowed people to seek empowerment no matter what the gender. Okay, so it's revolution all over. Okay, it's just everybody's free. Okay, she's probably of the opinion that feminism is good for everyone.
So when it comes to sexual revolution, let's look at one contribution is sex education. I'm actually an educator. I teach sociology and LGBTQ studies.
Of course she does. I mean, I would. Okay, so Again, she. Stop it, bitch. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so they do. Sexual education is a benefit of the sexual revolution. And they are a sexual educator. Cool. So Candace is like, you're the fuck that wants to sexualize my children. As soon as she hears that, but okay. Keep it together, Candace. Keep it together.
And I have absolutely seen the positive outcome with the sexual revolution and sex education and seen people empower themselves. And with that comes...
Okay, better not be... Okay, they empower themselves, but is it... It's not about talking about the butt sex with the 12-year-olds, is it? That's not empowering. It empowers. She's listening. She's listening good. I liked Candace. Yeah, I also liked Candace until she went full retard. She got this weird derangement syndrome that, like, I honestly think she's so deranged that she's probably thinking anyone that she doesn't like here is Jewish. It's honestly what I'm thinking. She's probably like, this person's probably a Jew. That's how fucking insane she is. That's what I think.
Safety when it comes to decreasing STIs, abuse, sexual...
Okay, so decreasing STIs, less abuse, okay? Empowers people. Decrease STIs. Decreases apparently we just needed to educate people. Decreases abuse because people are more aware. I don't know, man. I think lots of people have known that rape is wrong for a very long time.
Sexual assault. Again, people get to empower themselves of all genders. And I know earlier you mentioned about
they're so cute. I love their voice.
Violence amongst lesbians and sapphic community, which I do identify within. All
sapphic community? What?
No matter the gender. So when it comes to sexual revolution, let's look at one contribution is
sexually active
sex education. I'm actually an educator. I teach sociology and LGBTQ studies. And I have absolutely seen the positive outcome with the sexual revolution and sex education and seen people empower themselves. And with that comes safety when it comes to decreasing STIs, abuse, sexual assault. Again, people get to empower themselves of all genders. And I know earlier you mentioned about violence amongst lesbians and sapphic community, which I do identify.
Sapphic community. What is the sapphic community? Community in the context of LGBTQ. Safe spaces, the significance of safe spaces. I don't know. No, Sapphic. No. Spaces serve as safe havens. I don't know. It's not telling me, guys. So you guys tell me what it means. I recall Sapphic is lesbians, yeah. Okay, is that what it is? Okay, cool. Yeah, the more you know. Okay, so she identifies... No. You're non-binary, but you identify with the lesbians. Okay, cool. Anyway, yeah, cool. Why am I surprised? Okay, so you mentioned it. So does she have a counter for the sapphic / lesbian? Lesbians being more violent. Addresses, I'll say. Okay, it's not... Does sapphic mean lesbian? The term sapphic, so it's two P's. Sapphic is used to encompass a wide range of sexual and romantic orientations and gender identities, including but not limited to lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, and queer. So it's basically just queer. Okay, you got a queer thing. Sorry, got a lot of lag at the moment. I think I might have a lot of lag. It's an umbrella term. It's the female or woman-aligned equivalent of the term Achillean for men who are attracted to men. Lesbian. That's it. Just enjoy the word. Fuck.
Within, all genders can be subjected to violence.
That was the point I was making. So I
All genders can be subject to violence. Candace agrees, or Candace asserts this was the point she was making. Okay, cool, we're good.
wasn't sure of how her claim was relating to what we were talking about, whether or not it makes people happy or unhappy. Relationships are obviously a ground where there can be violence.
I guess I could just wrap it up by saying, like, if we all have access to, like, sex education through the incredible work of feminists through the sexual revolution, we are able to gain access to information and gain skills to create an equitable society and equality. Oh my God. The buzzwords they're buzzing through my head right now. So if we just get education, I feel like I'm in high school life orientation. If we just get education and through education, everything will be fixed. Within our relationships, whether it be platonic or romantic, I'm so grateful for those feminists who have fought for us.
Oh, they're grateful for the feminists who have fought for us. Who? For the queer people, because feminists are for queer people as well. Okay.
So we can gain those spaces and create a healthier society.
Okay.
Okay, Candace asserts the point that she was making. Cool. Let's put you here. And also education is key. Appreciates the education done by the feminists for us. Okay.
Are you a believer in the government doing everything that it can to make people happy?
Okay, so she's got a question. So, cool for you, Julian. Are you a believer in the responsibility to make people happy? Yeah. The thing with this is, like, I'm not a good enough woman for Candace. So if Candace starts going into how the government's supposed to help us with help the women to be in a single income household and raise their children and stuff. What about me? I don't want children. What about my husband? He doesn't want children either. We're just not valid to her, though. We're just invalid people. All right. But I don't know. She's bringing this up. I don't know what she's bringing this up for. Let's see where she goes with it. Background music went bye-bye. Oh, you know what? It wasn't on repeat. Infinite repeat. There we go. Thank you. If you're not male or female, then why take a side? No. You must take the feminist side. Because that's the one for the weirdos. This one's for the weirdos.
So when it comes, as someone that teaches in the public sector, I understand the concern when it comes to like, what is a teacher, what kind of information they're providing to the students. I do believe that we, as a teacher, I should be able to give that sort of information. Again, I teach college students. One of my claims is I believe that we should mandate able to gain positive outcome with the sexual revolution and sex education.
I'm waiting for her. I'm bringing it back to the question because I sort of missed.
And seeing people empower themselves, and with that comes safety when it comes to decreasing STIs, abuse, traffic community, which I do identify within all education through education.
The ground where there can be violence.
I guess I could just wrap it up by saying, like, if we all have access to like sex. So when it comes,
I'm trying to find the point.
society.
Okay, are you a believer in the government doing everything that it can to make people happy?
Okay.
So when it comes, as someone that teaches in the public sector, I understand the concern when it comes to like, what is a teacher, what kind of information they're providing.
Just say yes or no. Do you think the government? This is how I would answer a question. Somebody asked me a yes and no question, and I'm like, well, let me just explain exactly what I think I believe about the whole thing. So, okay. Are you a believer in the government? Sorry, I took the having responsibility and put it in there. Doing everything it can to make people happy. Fine. And her answer is, she just mentions public sector education. Okay.
Providing to the students. I do believe that we, as a teacher, I should be able to give that sort of information. Again, I teach college students. One of my claims is I believe that we should mandate sex education amongst college students.
Okay. Public sector education mandate sex education among college students. Look, at least she's not going for the kindergartens. Well done. Yeah, fine. That's pretty cool. It's not kindergarten kids. So I'm for you. Go do it.
So yes, I do want the state. I would like the government to give us those resources. So we
Wants the government to give the resources. Give us those resources. Okay, cool.
we can implement that curriculum.
Okay, are you consider yourself a feminist, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that's what they're here for.
Queer feminist.
Okay, so she goes, you'd consider feminist, queer feminist, the best kind, huh? Am I right, ladies? Remember, that's an oxymoron, okay? Feminists, the normal feminist doesn't exist anymore. Queer feminists, the same thing. Another word for not queer feminist is TERF. That's how it's working these days. But yeah, sure, let's pretend it's as nuanced as you're pretending. Cool.
Mandate sex education amongst college students. So yes, I do want the state.
Please, StreamYard, teach me how to move frame by frame in your video player.
I would like the government to give us those resources so we can implement that curriculum.
Okay, are you consider yourself a feminist, I'm assuming?
Queer feminist. There's variations, right?
What is a queer feminist as opposed to a feminist, just so I understand?
Yes, thank you for that. She's a queer feminist. What is the difference? Yeah. I don't need to comment on her asking that. But
Well, so I heavily believe in queer theory. So
queer feminist heavily believes in queer theory, which means queering. You just take everything and you put it through the queer lens. That's what you do. You take everything and you look at it through the queer lens. That I remember being absolutely fascinated with it when we were doing it with gender, in queering gender roles in university. with linguistics. That's what we were doing. And I was all for it. It made so much sense. But when you start queering mathematics, honey, sweetie, baby child, I'm going to have a bit of a problem with you. Okay. So, queer theory. Make everything weird. Literally, just make everything weird. Okay? Believer of queer theory. Cool. That's cool too. Do you guys want to do a queer theory diagram? Kitty diagrams, queer theory. Let's get queer. And I get deported for doing it.
So, the gender binary that we understand, it comes from colonization.
Queer theory, gender dynamic is from colonization. Okay. Please go to Africa. Please go to Africa and ask them about gender roles in Africa. Please. Asseblief. Please. Okay. Gender dynamic is, so it's not queer theory, it's critical theory. It's okay. Critical race theory, critical everything theory. Deconstruct alles. Okay? Deconstruct everything. And you will find you are queering things. Okay, gender dynamic is colonization. Is a result of colonization. This is fascinating. This is incredible. I'm enjoying this. Okay, cool. And you know what? Candace is holding her shit together.
So as someone who is mixed race, family from Mexico, we have the Moches in Mexico, which is an indigenous tribe. They believed in gender fluidity.
Okay, so the indigenous tribes believed in gender fluidity. What about the Ndebeles and the people in Kenya? All of the other different African tribes. Are you just being what, Mexico-centric? What about the indigenous tribes in Africa that have very, very rigid gender roles, sir? I mean, ma'am. I mean, I will say sir. I say sir a lot. That was not the insult that you think it was.
And then you have European colonizers coming who...
Fucking Europeans, man. Who let them in?
Who dismantle that. And now everything that we understand when it comes to gender is a Western...
Look at her face. Look at her face. See, like, for real? Look at it. This is the body language part of the stream, where she closes her mouth. Okay, look at Candace's mouth here. She does this lip compression because she's holding back all of the words.
Who dismantle that. And now everything that we understand when it comes to gender is a Western...
She's like, okay, if you say so. But I'm not... Now, at this point, do you start fighting her on this? Or do you just go, okay, that's the way you see it. You're not really making a coherent argument. Let everybody vote them out, and that's it. They brought the wheel. Yeah, many. And you know what? Some black people I know in South Africa. No, a lot of people in South Africa. There's also corrective rape in South Africa for people that are lesbian. So try that. Okay, it's try and tell me that there is no. But that's you know what? That's because of colonization. It's not because of anything tribal. You may call me whatever you like. I may not answer to it. Same thing as this person. They will not answer to what I've called them. I might not answer to what you call me. I've been called all kinds of things. Okay. Written language is Egyptian, i.e. African. Checkmate, colonizers. Okay. Indigenous, cool. Let's see.
Lens. So from a queer...
So you don't even think women exist, I'm guessing.
Candace, I was saying you holding it together. Let her finish. Let her cook. Come on. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put it over here because it's within this conversation, right? She goes, so you don't even think women exist. Am I right? Like, this is a good question for somebody who is a they them.
I think everyone should be empowered. It's family from Mexico. You know, we have the Moshes in Mexico, which is an indigenous right of America freedom. And I want to believe right when it comes to gender is a West gender fluidity. And then you have European colonizers coming who dismantle that. And now everything that we understand when it comes to gender is a Western lens. So from a queer...
So you don't even think women exist, I'm guessing.
She interrupted and she said, so from a queer, but I guess she was just going to repeat herself. So Candace went and interrupted, yes.
I think everyone should be empowered to figure out their identity and explore the language that best describes themselves.
Oh my god. She's lovely. I mean, they're lovely. They're really lovely. Like you know, just a sweet little flower. And it makes me feel really... This is the kind of person that makes me feel like I'm based as fuck. Like, I'm just a normal liberal, man. Okay, so everybody doesn't answer, it just equivocates. Everyone should be empowered to explore language that they believe describes them best. What is the point of me talking to you at this point? It's just like, I might as well just get high. So I can be on your level. I'm not on your level. We are not the same.
So freedom, America, right? America.
Freedom! America!
Freedom. And I want to believe in that when it comes to identity.
Oh, you mama.
Everyone should have the freedom to decide how they want to identify.
Uh-huh. So sweet. Everybody should have freedom to identify however they want. Okay. Okay, sweetie. Okay.
As long as they're not causing harm, but that's where we get into the debate. What is...
Okay, as long as... Oh, hold on. As long as we're not causing harm. Okay, but me being a heterosexual woman will cause you harm. Nah. It will, won't it? Just don't go batshit crazy. Uh-oh. I think... don't... I think this is quite funny because it's like, well, TERFs would say that you are causing harm, allowing basically autogynephilic men to self-identify as trans women is harmful. That's what a TERF says, but you will counter and say TERFs are harmful for doing that. So
It's harm.
So just, again, to be clear, to go back to this claim, we are debating female happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So just to be clear, hey, you, yeah. We are debating, okay, the female happiness. Okay, so to be clear, female happiness. Jubilee did this on purpose. Jubilee planted this person because it did the same thing to Blair White, where Blair White is on a panel and she's supposed to be talking about LGBT issues, well, trans issues actually, not LGBT. And then this person over here comes in there and they're gender non-conforming, but they're trans. And she's like, sorry, what are you doing here? Why are you on this panel? It's the same thing. It's just this person doesn't... Okay, let's see how they see women.
You are saying you do not identify as a female.
I identify with all gender expressions. So
Okay, no, this is not a good place to go, Candace, because Candace is going with this whole oh well, you're not a woman. We have men in this panel already. Have you not noticed? Did you not take a look around? There are men. You can be a male feminist. So it's a very silly thing to happen. We're debating, do you identify? You don't identify as a female. So yeah, I don't think it's a good place to go. We don't need to do this. Ask yourself, is this going to help me win my argument? No, she's like, you know what it's going to make me do? It's going to supposedly make me get a gotcha, but it's not. It just, somebody else can gotcha about the men. Wasting time.
From masculinity to femininity. So
I'm just saying.
Oh, that's mean. That's mean. Candace, you little bitch. The little... Women are evil, boys. That is evil. The way we're ugly to each other. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not ugly. But the way we're ugly to each other is just... It's so subtle. What chat is this? Who's chatting? Who's trolling? If you don't feed the trolls, guys, don't feed the trolls. A lot of the time when there is a troll, a lot of people start getting into arguments with them, and it's like, realize they're a troll, ignore them. Okay, so we're debating female happiness. You don't identify as female. So she goes, I identify with all gender roles. What does she say? Sorry, let's go. Yeah, just so you can see this in 4K with a mask.
We are debating female happiness.
Also, I had a blazer like that once. Just so you guys know, I had a blazer like Candace's. So I think I get to be a bit crazy now.
You are saying you do not identify as a female.
I identify with all gender expressions.
I identify with all gender expressions. Masculine to feminine. Okay.
So from masculinity to femininity.
This bitch also put masculinity first.
So I'm just saying. Are you?
Daisy's flicked her ears at me because I coughed. Sorry, I bitch coughed. Sorry.
You just saying that as a part of queer theory, you're debating whether or not women are happier after the sexual revolution. I'm just trying to understand because it seems like you're debating queer theory as opposed to female.
I believe all genders benefit from the sexual revolution.
Okay. So she's just asking for relevance. Okay. I believe Candace questions relevance of her argument focused on queer theory. And then she's like, no, it's just I believe everyone benefits it. All genders benefits it from the sexual revolution. And more sexual revolution is required. Educate them kids. No, she didn't say educate the kindergartners. So you gotta respect her. Okay? I think that's the last of she's probably about to be voted out.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Yeah, she got voted out. I think she got voted out because she was a bit too general. She was a bit too just... You know what? Julian... Fuck. Sorry. I'm really sorry. I tried. Next one, I'll do better, right? Okay. Well, all genders, fine. Then both of them did. Okay, so next person is... Candace. Look how she looks back. She's like, are you for fucking real, guys? Look here. Look how she looks back.
Female.
I believe all genders benefit from the sexual revolution.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please
Oh, okay. No, I thought she was looking in a certain kind of way, but she wasn't. She's just she just looked at the director.
return to your seat.
Or producer, whatever. No, is it? There it is. There it is. She looked back. She looked back. Did you get what you want? You got what you wanted there? Okay, anyway. The voting is like it's a little flag on the left-hand side, and then it fills up with red. We don't need to pay attention to it. It's just, you know.
Hello.
I'm Zena.
Zena, hey girl, it's Zena from the previous one. Told you. She was chosen by Peterson. So Candace, I think, would know that she cannot choose Zena to debate at the end. I think specifically straight after. But then again, considering what we know, thanks to Cade, shout out to Cade, but what we know about the way this is filmed and whatever, she might not even have known that Zena was the one who was spoken to by Jordan Peterson. So never mind what I said about that. Just let's go. Point is, I liked the way Zena held herself with Jordan Peterson. Let's see how she goes with how she handles Candace. Maybe she'll be a bit more sassy with Candace, because Peterson, she had to like really finesse him because he was a bit ragey. Zena, warrior princess, yeah? Okay.
Zena, very much like your name.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Right.
Can we start with the beginning? Do you identify as a female?
Oh, you little bitch, Candace. Can we start at the beginning? Do you identify as a female? So when these men sit in front of you, I think it's more important to say, do you identify as a feminist? But okay, do you identify? But okay, it gives you context. It's good. Do you identify as female? And she, you know what? She used the right words. She used the correct speech, right? She didn't say, "Are you female?" So she spoke the good speak. Okay, nicely done, Candace. You know how to speak the woke. Do you identify as female? Nicely done. Very well spoken.
I identify as a woman, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
She identifies as a woman?
So I do want to like get back to your premise. You're saying
She does. Zena does. Okay. Wants to get back to... Sorry. Yes. Get back to your premise. Nicely done, Zena. Fucking go, girl. Because she's here to be rational.
that women have been devalued, right, by the sexual revolution. This like kind of presumes two things. One,
Oh, lovely, lovely. Okay, goes back, returns to Candace's premise that the sexual revolution has devalued women. Okay, presumes two things. It presumes two things. Okay.
that there has been a loss of worth, right?
Yep. There has been a loss of worth. Okay, and then?
Right, for women. So you're saying that women have, as human beings, lost worth. Women who, prior to their sexual revolution, were worth more than women today.
Yes. There's been loss of worth. That's how you would... if there's loss of worth, then there was more worth previously. I'm with you. There's been loss of worth. Women, before the sexual revolution, were more valued than they are today. Okay? I think that that's not two things, it's actually one, but let's see.
I would say that, yes, women have devalued themselves by becoming overtly
According to
sexual.
Okay. So, let's just put this here. She's, according to her. Okay. Here. Okay, the response is yes. Women have devalued themselves. You see, there is that point, the same thing that when I saw this claim, I was like, okay, it seems like we ourselves have devalued ourselves by being promiscuous, etc. That's what I felt when she said this. She was saying, and it seems like I'm on track. That's what her argument's kind of like. Have themselves the sexual revolution. Okay, let's just see a little bit. Yeah, okay.
That's my claim, so.
She said according to who? Oh, okay. Because I made a joke that, oh, it's according to Candace. And she goes, according to who? And Candace like, according to, it's my claim, so. According to Candace. That's what it means. That's a good answer.
But I mean, also according to just, and let's not remove this from the other part of the claim, which that it has made women infinitely less happy.
Right. So are
Also, sexual revolution. Also, they are, remember, the other parts of the claim. They are more unhappy. Okay?
you saying, but you're saying that according to you, women have been devalued?
Not according to me.
No, you just swapped over, honey. Because you did say it was yours. You did say it's my claim. When she said according to who, you said it was your claim. Okay, and now she's saying, okay, so nice. Zena's saying, just repeating. Zena's doing active listening. She's saying what Candace had said. So she's like, so you're saying, which is not inherently bad. She went, according to you, women are less valuable because of the sexual like she's asking that. I don't know how do we, and she says no. How are we saying no here?
According to the time in which people are getting married, how difficult it is for people to find a partner.
Okay, no. According to the time when people are getting married. So she's saying people are getting married later, therefore they're sadder. Okay. I'm off, got shit to do. See ya, 1 of 44. We'll see you tomorrow. Do your shit good. Okay. According to the time when people are getting married. Okay.
Or that's willing to commit to them, and I think that's in large part due to the fact that women are offering sex for free because it was a major component of the sexual revolution was this idea.
So a woman's worth is tied to her sexuality.
Okay, yeah. According to time when people are getting married, taking longer to do so because women are giving sex away for free. Okay, and yeah, you can go and start challenging Candace about free because what would she consider OnlyFans? This was a good comment brought up in chat. What would she consider OnlyFans if this is whether you're free or not? Hey, Tomby. Okay, so no. Okay, so what? So women are valued according sexuality, is that what she said?
A major component of the sexual revolution was this idea.
So a woman's worth is tied to her sexuality.
Woman's worth is tied to. I think Candace might concede this is tied to her sexuality. So this would probably be you, Candace then being shown that this is not a good way to think of a woman.
It's not tied to, well, absolutely. If you're gonna,
she stumbled. Well, absolutely. If you're gonna
be having multiple partners, you are.
Okay, so interesting that she has to figure that one out on the fly. Isn't this something she's come across before? So this is what we spoke about. A woman's worth is tied to her sexuality. So then I suppose a feminist will say it's not. The feminist thing to do is no longer tie a woman's value to her sexuality. So we remove that. We remove that claim altogether. Then what is her value? And it's got to be beyond her sexuality.
Are going to be devaluing yourself.
So she says yes, absolutely. If you're going to have multiple partners, and therefore I think everybody kind of reduces their value as this is for me, as their body count increases, their desirability decreases. This is just in my worldview. Obviously, when you're older, it's a bit more difficult, but that's how I was working in my world. Okay. Taking longer to do so because women are having sex free now, so women's worth is tied to sexuality. Absolutely. Multiple partners and therefore devalue yourself. I think, again, this is now going to get into the Stitches law of it, because what is value? Now we were disagreeing on where a woman's value can lie. I don't know if we were deciding whether that's all her value, but it's something that devalues her. So if you've got a whole bunch of stats that hold together your value, this one over here that you're fucking with literally makes you lose value.
You're worth less as a human being.
Not as a human being, just
You're worth less as a human being? Ooh. Zena's trying to bring her closer to what she's meaning, what it sounds like she's saying. You're worth less as a human being. Then how are you not worth less as a human being? How are you worth less then if not as a human being?
you know, in terms of trying to have a partnership and a productive relationship, certainly men are not going to be clamoring to have a relationship with somebody when there's the market is growing.
So she's not as a human being, but as a partner. Fewer people and desirable. But then if we flip it all on its head, the way the feminist wants us to flip it all on its head, we're trying to take away this factor of desirability coming in with this body count thing. It's not supposed to matter. So your value shouldn't decrease. If in the new world, in the feminist world, your value won't decrease. You'll be A-okay.
A man's response to your actions is what defines your worth, right?
Oh, so she's now doing she is doing so you're saying she's interpreting what Candace is saying and recharacterizing it. She's querying it. So a man's response to your behavior. What was it? Your man's response to your behavior?
Have a relationship with somebody when there's the market is growing them.
A man's response to your actions is what defines your worth, right?
Yeah, well,
to your actions is what defines your worth. And she's doing this thing with her mouth where she's like, oh, okay, so this is what you're saying. Look what you're saying, bitch. Look how you're telling on yourself. How you're telling. Woohoo, such a weak woman. Okay, and then?
Yeah, I would say that
she smiled. Zena's like, gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Look at her. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so gotcha, bitch. This is what everyone who has different use car knows that isn't true. Interesting, yeah. Okay, but that's pretty funny. Because she goes,
response to your actions is what defines your worth, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I
Yeah, well, yeah.
would say that I would argue that what makes
You got to deal with it when somebody pauses that way.
women actually happy is family. So if you're interrupting, so just to connect the dots for you, when women are
Oh, she threw in a little just to connect the dots for you. She threw in a just to connect the dots for you, just to be a little bit condescending, but it doesn't work as well as you stumbled over trying to explain yourself.
having sex with multiple partners, it devalues them for men, right?
For men.
So she agrees. She just put some word salad together and she's like, yeah, well, okay. So how she's like, women are happier when they are married, essentially is what she said. A man, so your actions, a woman's actions, oopsie, actions should consider whether it will increase, whether their chances of attracting a man will increase. What it means is we do everything for men. What do you think men do? Do you think men don't do anything for women? Zena? Do you think men do nothing for women? Men just sit there and wait. Do we not perform roles for each other? Do we not we don't have to consciously sit there and consider all of these things, but they do underlie a lot of it. So it sounds ugly. But there's also other women that will judge me. Your worth depends on which market you make yourself a commodity in. That's good. Be that for men or whatever. Just because you have worth to men doesn't mean it's the only form of worth. That's true. That is very true. You need to have worth beyond that because you're not going to be thriving much more. There we go. I like this, Ringu. Let's put this here. Are you on the wheel, Daisy? Daisy's busy running on the treadmill. She's got a wheel. Hey Kizza, women being women's worst enemy must be a day ending in Y. The way that they're interacting is prime. It's great.
Yes, so
Men define a woman's worth.
Men define a woman's worth. Okay. I think there are certain parts of it, yes, but there's also women defining women's worth, and there's also men defining men's worth, and there's men defining women defining men's worth as well. Okay, so she's like trying to trap her in this, but Candace, you gotta own this, love. So men define women's worth. Okay, Candace is going to have to say that in one way they do, in others they don't. It's not the only way, but it's an important way when it comes to the sexual life cycle. I don't know.
well, I would say both of them kind of define one another's worth because I think the ultimate goal for people to be happy is actually family.
Okay, so that's how she has to own it that way. That's a way out for her. They both define each other's worth. Ultimate thing I value, people should value, is family. Okay, is she one of those that's like, oh, if you're gay, you gotta you just gotta go and be in a lavender relationship because that's just the way it is? Hi, the Iron Man 728. Everyone has a hand in defining worth. Absolutely. And we also negotiate, I would say. Negotiate. We also negotiate our worth dynamically in every interaction we have with other people. Someone might not value what you have in what you bring to the table, and then you're fucked. But you at the same time could also not value what they bring to the table, and then there's nothing to do. I know it's MSK. I know it's you. Hi, MSK. I'm just making fun of everybody with their funny nicknames. I'm so fucking glad me and my wife just get on. I could not take the BS. Thank you. Right? Okay. How are you? Are you Gen? What are we? We're not Gen X. You're a millennial, right? Or at least a Gen. You're at least older than a millennial. Millennial or older, because people that are dating now. I saw a reel the other day. I was like, bruh. Looking at the way people date these days, I feel like I got the last Apache out of Iraq, or whatever it was. Yes, that's what I feel like. Because I'm in a marriage and I'm happy. Saying then you are fucked in this context is not conducive towards clarity. I'm so sorry. You're right. Then you're unhappy. Hey, Sparkles. MSK should be in bed like a good boy. Well, why are you not putting him to bed? Women are magic. They are literally wizards with the power to create and hone life. Childless working woman who wants Superman to only to be Clark Kent. Who wants Superman to only be Clark Kent? Oh, sounds hot. I know, that's why I did it. Okay. Value is family, so the ultimate thing is value is family.
Okay, so you're saying in all cases, a woman is going to be more fulfilled in regards to family. Like
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That is exactly what she's saying. And you know what? Let her own it. In all cases, a woman be happier. Sorry, with when in a family. Let's just check. Bear with me when I'm trying to seek.
So you're saying in all cases, a woman is going to be more fulfilled in regards to family. Like
More fulfilled. So this is going to relate to her next claim, where it's like no career can fulfill a woman. So more fulfilled regard to family. And she goes, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And she says it with a smile because that's it. That's what she's peddling. So eat it up. And again, Xena with her active listening, right? Xena actually worded this, and then Candace agreed. I got lucky with my fiance. We very rarely have arguments. Listen, some of us have to argue about stupid things, like whether something's funny or not.
Exactly what I'm saying.
And this is going to work in all cases. You're saying there's no...
And that's going to work in all cases, okay? And you're saying it's going to work in all cases.
Individual case in which a woman can feel, fulfilled without being tied to other people in the case of family.
I think...
Yeah, she can feel... that's a lie. That is a great lie that feminism likes to give people, is that when you're alone, you will be so much better off. You need to be away from family. You need to be away from connectedness. So it's moved from a man defines your worth to no, now I can be alone. I don't need to be with anyone in order to feel fulfilled. It's a two-sided coin. You have to value yourself, yes, of course, but it's very rare that a person should just be on their own. I think I know like 1 or 2 people that I think would be better off just on their own. Saying you're going to work in all, it's going to work in all cases. There's no in which someone could be fulfilled without other people. I honestly think that is what people are about. You might have an antisocial personality if you're actually not happy with people around you at all. You'll have some propensity, some desire for some kind of what's the name? Some kind of camaraderie, some kind of connection with something other than yourself. It can't be all you. That is just my opinion. This is a straw man of feminism. It is about the freedom to do either. It doesn't come with a prescriptive mandate regarding your personal life choice. Devious. No. Candace is saying it is. It is or it isn't. You can't make a choice. Having the choice at all is wrong. Okay? Having the choice at all has misguided people.
I think there could be an exceptional case for everything. I think there are.
I'm exceptional, boys. In that, I don't need a child. I don't want a child.
Are exceptional cases, but I think that if we all start trying to be the exception as opposed to recognizing the rule.
Okay. There can be exceptions. Yes, there's a difference between if we go back to the discussion we had with not so erudite on Wick's channel. There is a difference between encouraging something, so normalizing it and saying that this is the way it should be, and just finding it neutral, just being like it's okay, it's fine. It seems like feminism is not neutral. It encourages this and makes it go beyond. It seems like there's some sort of golden mean at which you can have exceptions and people can still be happy, but when you are pushing this beyond the norm, you're actually going to be pushing people that would otherwise be happy into unhappiness. But I don't think the social engineering aspect helps us in any way. We try and figure shit out. We try and make society work a certain way, and it doesn't. Okay, fact check. There are exceptions. I don't know how this becomes a fact check. This seems to be an opinion, but okay, thank you. There can be exceptions if we all start acting like we're the exception to the rule, then we could be unhappy. I think she's what she was saying. Sorry, there is conflicting research on this topic. Pew Research found that a higher percentage of adults want a career or chose close friends to be fulfilled compared to kids or marriage, while the Institutes of Family Studies found married men and women are happier than the unmarried counterparts, largely because they have a family support system. Okay, that's not too groundbreaking. What's what I'm seeing there? It's just one research institute that was looking for one answer got their answer, and the other institute that was looking for its own answer got the answer it was looking for. Well done, everybody. Okay. There can be exceptions if we all start acting. Let me just go a little bit. I need a little bit more from Candace there. What?
And this is going to work in all cases. You're saying there's no individual case in which a woman can feel, fulfilled without being tied to other people. In the case of things.
I think there could be an exceptional case for everything. I think there are exceptional cases, but I think that if we all start trying to be the exception as opposed to recognizing the rule, which is that people in life are more fulfilled when they achieve.
Okay, so if we all start thinking we're the exception, then we no longer think of the rule, which is that we are like what? We're more fulfilled. We are part of a family is what I'm thinking she's saying.
A family unit, and when they have children, women in particular, especially aspiring to children, then you are going to end up with a bunch of people who are unhappy because your job cannot replace the feeling of having a family.
So what?
This is going to come up later. Your job can't replace a feeling. of having a family. Okay, so those things will just not replace. The alternatives don't replace a family. Children. Interesting. I think on average, I think it's something people should be able to think about and don't feel influenced too much one way or the other. Like, I honestly, most of the people that I interacted with, most of the women that I interacted with when I was in varsity thought, nah, children, nah, not so interested in that. And I was like, I could pick them out, that these were the ones that were going to change their mind. And a lot of them did. Actually, most of them did. I think there's only one that has not changed her mind. And me. So, yeah, it's very interesting that I think there's going to be quite a few women that wake up and it's a bit late for them to have their own children, and it's going to be quite tragic. And I think that is really happening. Not fun. So I don't think people need to be influenced either way. I think it is, as you said earlier, it's about the choice. So fuck you, Candace, I don't want children. Okay, I'm not having children because you said I need to have children to be fulfilled. You know what? It's the risk I'm willing to take. Okay? Let's just stop having kids and opt out of this fucked up reality. No. Other people will always have kids. They are little miracles and they're beautiful things, and I'm very happy for everybody who has children of their own. But that's for them, not for me. And they will know. They'll be like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't have children. I feel like a lot of people notice that when I'm trying to help with their kids. They're like, you're great, but not really. No, maybe not.
What you're saying is we need to look at every individual case and see what is...
Okay, Kitty. Okay, we don't want to hear you moaning about your life when you hit menopause. Okay. I'll get if I feel unfulfilled and sad, I'll get myself a horse. I'm sure a horse will chew up as much money as a child would. You can always adopt a black kid. Or it has to be a black kid, hey? Sure. I'm scared of who God might send me. I'm scared too. I'm scared of pregnancy, man. Okay, anyway.
Going to fulfill you, or what is going to, I guess, essentially predict your happiness more. Because if we look at, for example, the Nordic countries, right? These are countries...
Oh, mamma mia. Okay, I'm going to go to the Nordic countries. What is I have nieces who love their uncle very much. Yeah. I don't mind being an auntie-aunt.
At every individual case and see what is going to fulfill
the rule, which is that people in life are more fulfilled when they achieve a family unit and when they have children, women in particular, especially aspiring to children, then you are going to end up with a bunch of people.
Oh, don't forget. Hello, Mark, don't forget that I've got 2 cats. That's part of the stereotype. They're talking crap about Nordics again. Well, let's see what they say about you guys.
People who are unhappy because your job cannot replace the feeling of having a family.
So what you're saying is we need to look at every individual case and see what is going to fulfill you, or what is going to, I guess, essentially predict your happiness more.
Mm-hmm. If Candace was logically consistent, she would abandon her career. Instead, she's living in the life she does that was won by the feminist movement. Absolutely, and she gets called out on that later on in the thing. Lucy, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Lucy's just very happy to have her children, and she is also of the opinion everybody should just make their own decisions. Some people shouldn't have children. Not everybody needs to have a child, and not everybody should. I think that's where she's at. Okay, so we've got, okay, we should look at people on an individual and determine what would be most fulfilling for them. I think that's fine. I think women just need to be honest with themselves. You don't have to, like, I was very judgmental of my friend who wanted to be a housewife. She was like, that's what I want to do. I want to marry my boyfriend, and I want to have a child, and I want to be a mom. And I got judgmental of her for that. I was like, what is this? Like that's the opposite. That's what Candace is trying to say is not helpful. Like that is not what we want. We want somebody to be able to have both sides available to them. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm a lefty Lucy.
Because if we look at, for example, the Nordic countries, right? These are countries, I'm talking about like Sweden, Denmark, right? These countries tend to be like, I think in the past 14 years, they've been ranked as the highest.
Okay. Nordic countries ranked as the highest in happiness, I think, is what she's going to be looking at. It's true that Finland, Denmark, and Iceland, Sweden, and Norway consistently rank highest in the World Happiness Report. In fact, in 2025, they were 1 to 4 and 7. Okay. Our happiest countries. Yes, they're the happiest countries, and everybody has a choice.
In happiness and marital satisfaction from women, right? And we see that they also have been the most open in regards to, like, you know, sexual norms and you know, sexual roles, right? So, and we also see that there's less rates of like STDs reported.
Okay, so happiest countries, and you're clinically depressed, but it might be true. For everybody else, you're just a statistic. You're just a statistic, atheist. Nordic countries are happiest countries. Lowest for women, lowest STDs, she says. Okay.
We see more, and that's also due to comprehensive sex education that's pushed in those countries. So we see that when we...
Okay, and she says it's due to comprehensive sex education. Okay, but is it guys? Okay, hold on. Strands of Strange. Okay. Hold up. The sexual education, it's not kindergarten, is it? That's what I want to know. I'm all for sex education, but I don't need the littlies to talk about the good sex. Hi, Ragnar. Hello. I refuse to believe Scandinavians are happy. Okay, let's see.
And that's like a direct result of the sexual revolution, right? So when we're seeing that direct reports of happiness, right, we don't have these same rates in America. In these countries that are more sexually open, why would we see like those rates in those type of countries?
So I think...
Okay, so explain. Basically, she's saying explain this happiness. Explain why this occurs in there. Okay, and she might just do it's because it's a homogenous country. It works because it's a smaller population. I think she might go to that, but let's see what she says.
I think you might be referring to this sort of mass-produced study that was a part of like a behavioral science study, which said that women were the happiest women in the world were women that were actually unmarried and had careers. No. Okay. Well, there was
reported happiness.
Okay.
Reported happiness. Okay.
Right, sure. I'm talking about the same thing. It was reported happiness, but it could be a different. There's tons of studies. The point being is that in 2023 there was this massive scandal where they recognized that a lot of these studies.
Okay, so we're just refuting each other's studies. Okay. Candace refutes study. It refutes what? Refutes source. Xena source. 2013. What? 2013. We've got scandals. Well, no, sorry, it was 2020 something. In 2023, and there was a 3 in there. Kill me. Harvard investigator Dr. Francesca China for fraud. She was accused of manipulating data in her papers published 2012 to 2020. She was investigated by the university and suspended without pay. School is trying to revoke her tenure. Okay. Research scandal. Okay, that's one researcher. Dr. Francesca China. Okay. This is boring to me. It's like, well, my source says, well, your source says. Yeah, okay. Sweet. I want to work with the logical dynamics of it. Is this stream pro-feminism or anti-feminism? It's anti what feminism has become now. I think we're all very normal here. We're not here saying everything, the future is feminist, or the future is feminine, the future is female. Nah. Yeah, it depends on who you ask. Yeah, exactly.
That were being produced, behavioral science was proven to be a complete fraud, and they were unable to reproduce these studies, and they also found that the data had been faked.
Okay, so the source data has been faked. Was faked. Fraud involved. Okay. Cool. So, Your Honor, I don't believe you.
Data that we can look at that I think shows, and you can let me know if you agree with this, if women, and under the imagination of the feminist umbrella, were really unhappy when they were in the home, and then entering the workforce has made women happier and infinitely feeling more secure about
Fuck with your infinite. Nobody wants to talk about your infinite, Candace.
themselves, we could, I think, reasonably expect that there would have been a decrease in suicide rates.
Okay, so she's like, let's go with some other data. So she's like, if women were happier after entering the workforce, that's a false equivalence, because you're just going to use, I suppose you could, but you could weasel your way out of it. Okay, you could weasel your way out of this suicide being a measure for sadness, because suicide could be with other it can be based on other factors we can just talk about. I don't think women should not have rights. I don't think women should not have rights to work. So they should be allowed to have rights, Ragnar, to work. They should be allowed to. Yeah. If women were happier after entering the workforce, then there would have been a drop in suicide, female suicides, right? What if women didn't commit suicide because of the home situation or something? I don't know. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here. So this is what she's saying, and this didn't happen. This was not observed. Okay. Therefore, women are not happier post-revolution.
Amongst women.
You would have to go ahead and...
They shouldn't be allowed to. Okay. That's why shouldn't they be allowed to? And you're not trying to be edgy. That's fine. It's nice when you're not trying to be edgy and you have an argument behind it. We'll listen to you. But if you're trying to be edgy and you don't have an argument behind it, it's like, because you don't like women? Very fun. So much fun. But it doesn't matter how happy you are in the Nordic countries if you can't win a world war. Candace is a feminist, but she's hiding it. Well, she's saying a whole bunch of things. She's saying that if we go and look at her claims, right? She's saying that feminism has made women unhappy. Okay, and then eventually she goes into this thing of we're in a matriarchy, not a patriarchy. She says feminism has made things easier for men, and then she'll argue against feminism is wrongly interpreted as anti-men. That's something she'll be doing. I'd be depressed too if I was Swedish. You guys. I myself have been a sex ed advocate for countries like yours. Yeah, the kind of sex ed that I got at age 11 and 12 was fine. It was not explicit. It was normal stuff. But the kind of sex ed that we get spoken about, these days, I'm not really interested in that. Okay, so let's continue.
Show how that correlation, right, is going to be a direct cause of women going into the workforce.
Okay, well, how can we, let's measure, then you have to give me a way that we can measure happiness. How can we measure happiness? So I would...
Do you have a job outside of YouTube? No, not at the moment, but I will be getting one. I have to be getting one. Because if it doesn't increase anytime soon, then yeah, then it's a very unstable way of earning money. Okay, where are we at? Sorry, I'm just trying to get back.
And they were unable to reproduce these studies, and they also found that the data had been faked. The data that we can look at that I think shows, and you can let me know if you agree with this, if women, and under the imagination of the feminist umbrella, were really unhappy when they were in the home, and then entering the workforce has made women happier and infinitely feeling more secure about themselves, we could, I think, reasonably expect that there would have been a decrease in suicide rates amongst women.
You would have to go ahead.
Animals have it good. No work, always naked.
And show how that correlation, right, is going to be a direct cause of women going into the workforce.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, so yes, you see, I knew that's what she would go with. Zena questions whether how we could make an equivalence. How we could relate going into with suicide rate. Like most movements, feminism was fine and did its thing, solved some issues, then people got greedy and ruined it. Yeah, it seems like that's what happens with movements. I could see you as being an amazing receptionist. Thank you, Creamage. I'm actually too ditzy, and I could be a good receptionist for a low risk sort of thing. If me making a mistake is gonna inconvenience someone more than 10 minutes, then I think there's a problem. Have you seen me? You know what I'm like. Feminism, you see? Feminism addressed some problems and created new ones. Sounds like any political issue. Okay, Zena questions how they relate women. Suicide rates. So now we're going to start talking about how do we measure happiness.
Well, how can we, let's measure, then you have to give me a way that we can measure happiness. How can we...
Okay, then give me how can we measure happiness?
Measure happiness. So I would say suicide rates would be a good thing to look at. Drug, alcohol consumption would be
of course, right? But we would have to.
Okay, so how can we measure? The way that she wants to is drug use, drug and alcohol use, suicide rates. Okay, that's what she wants to do for happiness. It seems like a good thing. Stress.
We can say, I can say it.
How do we measure happiness doesn't seem very scientific. Listen, if you remember when we were trying to read the research papers, like a psychological research paper, it is very, very, very difficult, I would say impossible, to quantify anything really psychological. We are always going to make the leap from qualitative data to quantitative data. And that leap is massive. And we get to say this percent and this percent and this percent, and we talk about it as if it's a real scientific fact. But actually, it's just a guesstimation. It's, hey, we made this survey and we turned it into numbers, and that's as far as we can go with how complex we can go in a psychological study. Okay.
At this point in society, I don't think everyone's happy. I think there's a lot of things that we need to reconcile in society.
That's what I'm getting at. So
right?
I
But we
think
have to look at the cause, right?
Okay. We have to look at the cause.
Why are these things predicted, right? And for example,
It's a bit wishy-washy now. We're getting to, but why? Your username might not even be taken. They just add those numbers to hide the bots. Ah, that is a good use. You know what? I was considering that. It's so that it's just that it's not taken there. I mean, because think about it. If you've got this Gabriel, this one over here, okay? Are you telling me, Google, that there's Gabriel Thier or Gabriel Ethier? There's 2,000 of them? Is that what we're doing? 2,046 of them? So yeah. Soft scientists versus hard scientists, very big difficulty in repeating. Yeah, you could never replicate these things. Feminism is Jewish. That's why Candace doesn't like it. You're right, Ragnar. Seriously. I'm late, but luckily it appears the first 20 minutes of stream is Scuff, so I can skip all that. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm the 2046th. Denmark has been ahead of the curve in being more aware of issues than Sweden and Norway due to forensic methods including ethnic and nation origin crime stats. Okay, so drug and alcohol use, suicide rates. So she's like, let's go to the cause. It's wishy-washy.
if we talk about men, there are a lot of things we can look at, right? That tend to predetermine suicide, right? But we can't say, oh, these two things are happening at the same time. This caused this other thing.
Yes, that's right. But I do think that we can objectively say that women who are committing suicide rates more than they were in the 1950s, like it has actually increased marginally. That's not a sign that us entering the workforce suddenly made us
How
all
is
very
it a
happy.
cause of the workforce?
We're
Yeah, now they're just arguing causation. It's like, oh, well, what about the rest of the world factors? Sometimes yes. In some factors, geez, the world is worse off, but other factors might cause suicide for women. Okay, so not it's much of a muchness. We can't really.
also binge drinking at a higher rate.
How's this
We're
cause of
opioids
entering
at a higher rate?
How is this a cause of entering
Because
the
I think women.
How is this a cause of entering the workforce? So she's saying, how is this caused by? I think is what she means. You need to prove. I'm just going to say Candace needs to prove those increases are specifically due to entering the workforce. That doesn't really help as well because we would have to do generational studies as well. And what I would want to ask at the end of this little chat with Candace is, so what would are you a proponent? And I think what comes next is probably one of those, that's what comes into this claim is, are you trying to say that women must not work? If so, why the fuck are you working?
Are being put on a
You're
pathway.
hypocrites. Like you need to retire and get the fuck out of the public eye, as the main clip says.
Aspirationally.
But you're gonna have to. You're saying you think this, right? But where's the cause? Like you're not substantiating the claim. You're saying.
So they circle. I don't need to diagram this because we're not going that far in.
This is what I think. I'm seeing two.
Okay, pause.
Oh, Zena. Okay. She's the best so far, as we expect.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thank you so
Return to your seat.
Great job.
Great job. She is. She's lovely and she wears a cool sweater. She's my friend, I decided.
Great job. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Nikki. Hey, Nikki, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow our mind. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Nikki. Living in the ice takes some strong will. Man. True. Vikings. Oh, you guys are talking about. Should we do a think on Vikings? Okay. Xena. Now we got Nikki. How do we spell this? Nikki.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about the value of
I knew it wasn't a normal Nikki. I knew it was a. And I was Nikki with an IE. Okay. It wasn't, but you know what I mean. Okay. Nikki is a whole adult woman, I would say.
women on a societal scale and how we view each other.
How we view each other is that's a bitch, that's a bitch, that's a bitch. You bitch, you bitch, bitch. I'll show you this something to show you what I mean by it. You should do a think on Bigfoot. Why not? Hold on. Where is it? Just so I can go and get some coffee. I'm trying to find it for you as a little palate cleanser. Sushi mango. Bitch. I'm just gonna have to go to the shorts. You bitch. No, you bitch. Bitch. There we go. Yeah. I hope you guys can hear it. Yeah. I think it might echo. Hold on, let me do something. Okay.
I found the wallet of your son in my daughter's room.
My son will not go with your daughter. Your daughter's a bitch.
You said my daughter bitch?
She's a bitch. You there? She's a bitch. Very big bitch.
Bitch, huh? Well, your son is a son of a bitch. And means she call you bitch.
Bitch!
Why she calling me bitch?
Bitch! She call you son, the son of a bitch. And means she call you bitch.
It's echoing.
Maybe you bitch.
You bitch. You.
Well, the point is. Okay, it's echoing, but you guys heard, you bitch. You guys heard it. That's all I needed you to hear, okay? And it shouldn't have echoed. Fuck this. Oh, it was in media, was it? God. No Bigfoot fucking shit in my chat. None of that. You bitch.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Nice to
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Let's get some coffee. You bitch. Oh no, you know what? Let's get coffee at 50 minutes left. You know what? Don't get coffee. You not finished your water. Let's go. Okay, so the reason I brought up the bitch, guys. Okay? The reason I brought up the bitch thing is because she said how we view each other. And the way we view each other is a bitch.
Societal scale and how we view each other, right?
Oh, Xena was going up again. Good girl. She just went down, but she got up.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Nice to
I mean, I guess we don't know what order this goes in.
meet you.
So when we're talking about the value of women on a societal scale and how we view each other, right? When you're devaluing us, you're objectifying us.
Okay, so she's now saying you're objectifying us by even giving us a value, okay? when you devalue us, you are objectifying us. I think what Candace will now argue is by objectifying yourselves, you have devalued yourself. And then the feminist will say, but we were objectified before because we were literally we were literally property.
And follow me, I promise. But rape rates have gone down by about half in the last 20 years.
Oh, please somebody tell that to South Africa. But, you know, I'm neither here nor there. Literally, it's there, actually, not here. Okay. Rape rates have gone down in the past 20 years. Let's look at the fact check. Rape rates over the last 20 years are difficult to track because of the FBI changed the definition in 2013, which led to a significant increase in cases. Oopsie! So she's wrong. Fact check. 2013 definition caused an increase in rape numbers. Okay, so that didn't work for her. Okay, but I guess what her point is, the sexual revolution brought rape rates down. Yeah. Okay. More accessible sex equals less rape. Woohoo! So just give it up, ladies. If you just give it up, we're all good. Okay.
Right? So if you're saying we're less valuable now, why wouldn't we be suffering at a higher rate?
Okay. We're suffering with lack of happiness, but I like the question. If it's... Oh, sorry. Hold on. It's not yeeted. It's not yeeted. I yeeted it on purpose because I was trying to get away from the echoes. Okay. Here it is. If you're... So we got another thing, again, Sitch's law, I suppose, of what is this how do we measure this value that of decrease? This decreasing value is how everybody is attacking this argument, I suppose. If we're less valuable now, why are we not suffering more? Which she's literally said we're suffering more. She just will categorically, she does not agree with your premise. The end.
So is the argument that you're making, just so I understand, that because women are giving up sex for free, they're not being raped?
And yeah, is your argument? Because women giving up sex, they're not being raped.
Every study shows rape is not correlated with just sexual gratification. It is a power structure.
Okay, we're off track, guys. We're off track. Okay, yeah, girl, you don't know anything about, like, rape? Okay, yeah, we all know about it now. Unfortunately, we all just know. So it's a very spoken about thing. Ugh. Okay. Then one, and then she goes, oh, it's not all about. By the way, where's your glasses? Rape isn't all about sexual gratification. It's about power. Cool, and that somehow means that this... So we still... Wouldn't rape then still require this taking of the sex? We know that that's the whole definition of rape, is that it's taking away. But okay, you should correct her rather than go into this. You should correct her. Tell her how this being is your argument that because women are giving sex for free, they're not being raped. If that, you need to change her mind about how she's perceived your argument, but instead you go over here and you quibble about the exact claim. Rather go back to your claim. If we're less valuable now, why are we not suffering more? If maybe you should be saying, if we're less valuable, go back to, no, what I'm saying is that we're less valuable, therefore we should be suffering more. She would still be trapped anyway, but she should not have gone into this. This is not where I think she should have gone. Anyway, let's see where she goes, where Candace takes her.
Okay. So it is about objectifying and abusing women when you rape them, not about whether or not you want sex.
It's about objectifying women and abusing women, not about sex, okay? About power, objectifying, and abusing. And it's not all, sorry guys, that's not how that works. It's not about objectifying and abusing women. It's about objectifying and abusing your victim. Because it can happen to anyone. Just so you fucking know. And yes, I will use bad words when it comes to bad things like that.
What I am saying is that women are less objectified. So therefore
Women are less objectified.
They're being raped less.
Okay.
Women are less objectified. What I'm saying is, so they are being, this is a very big claim to sit on, that women are being raped less. A feminist saying women are being raped less. Being raped? Aren't they supposed to be shouting, teach boys not to rape? But I guess we are comparing it to a very long time ago, so that might work for them. To be fair, speaking on the fly to get your point across in heated debates can be pretty difficult. You think? I'm being very critical, and I am always very critical of everyone, but I would not do half as well as any of these people. I would. Have you seen me trying to communicate with you? Yeah. So they are being raped less. Okay, that's what her argument is. Okay.
So you think that in today's society...
You see her being so woman-ness, laughing at her.
Because this is pretty wild for me.
That's pretty wild for me.
In the 1950s, you're saying women were more objectified than today in the land of OnlyFans.
Okay, so she's saying... So in 1950s, women were more objectified than today in the world of OnlyFans and Instagram. To be an object is demeaning.
It's the Kardashian clan and women that are essentially putting up their boobs and butts for free on Instagram. You're saying we are
boobs and butts.
Now we finally have achieved.
Candace is the HR lady, guys. Woo, and she's very scary. She's not the ditzy, happy HR lady. She's the scary one. Yeah.
Less objectification, where women can't even get onto an advertising. You can't even advertise a bag without them having to be naked.
Okay, whoa. They're starting to cover up all the women in the video games, Candace, but you wouldn't care about that. And a dance, and a dance. Hi, Myra. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys could hear the alert. It was cat. I make it a cat. And I dance, and a dance. Don't make that make you unsub. We don't hear it that often. It's okay. Okay. But yes, colony. I'm a colonizer, but also a collection of cats is a colony. So, okay. So for 90s, more OnlyFans and advertisements. Okay. Okay. She's like, wow, we have to have a woman naked. She hates women being naked.
In order for them to get a career as a model, you're saying, oh, great, we've achieved actually less objectification.
So I'm
I mean, what are you saying?
not trying to suggest that I think that the over-commodification of women's bodies is positive.
Okay, good. The over-commodification of women. Okay, so she might be a reasonable feminist. I'm not saying the over-commodification of women is positive. She's just happy with where it was over there. I think that's fine. Why should women be naked? Have some dignity. Yeah. You know why women can be naked? Because their privates are not as ugly as men's. They're not as ugly and dangly. I'm sorry. It's just truth. They're just folded away. Okay, anyway. But yes, cover up.
But what I am saying is that when you're going to the 1950s, that we shouldn't put this glazed look of, oh, it was so happy. We had single income households and we got to stay home. We also had a pill popping problem. We also...
Okay, she's not saying that. She's saying 1950s. Don't view 1950s as a happy state of affairs. Pill popping. With single income. Pill poppings and depressions is
reviewed as maids. Like, we were seen as a house...
They can be wild. They flap in the wind.
appliance far more than we were as people. And so when you...
Sorry, I've lost track of what this is. That was very funny, sorry.
Less objectification.
So I'm not trying to suggest that I think that the over-commodification of women's bodies is positive. But what I am saying is that when you're going to the 1950s, that we shouldn't put this glazed look of, oh, it was so happy. We had single income households and we got to stay home. We also had a pill popping problem. We also were viewed as maids. Like,
viewed as maids. Pill popping, viewed as maids. What if you are a maid? Then that's you in the workforce. What's wrong with being viewed as a maid?
we were seen as a house appliance.
But we weren't paid for we had that unpaid labor. Fun fact, Candace Owens, hello Hydra. Candace Owens is now a flat earther. She sent people all the way to Antarctica to harass people in the final experiment live stream, next level jerk behavior. She really did? No. Don't lie. Unpaid maid. Or you could be a whole paid maid. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Those weren't around yet, lady. Yeah, they were. In the 1950s, there were appliances. Okay? We were viewed as maids and appliances.
It's far more than we were as people. And so when you have that kind of objectification where you are in a subservient position, I think we're facing a different form today, but I think that rape is a signifier of a contradiction to your statement.
Okay, so she's like, it's a contradiction to your statement. Point is, rape is a signifier. Contradiction to your statement. Cool. I think she's probably just going to disagree with the fact that there is less rape. Foods, majors, appliances, subservience. I would want to have a claim feminism has gone as far as it needs to go in the Western world. And then I would see what the feminists are still pushing for. Like, what else do they want? What do you want? Okay. I grew up a town over from Candace. I don't know how she grew up so crazy. Maybe it's because she was so close to you, Matt.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense, but
Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. Asses, bitches, everyone.
I do want to rebut it on a couple of points. So first, I just want to say, suggesting that objectification has gone downward since the 1950s is wild. That's just...
You don't have to laugh like a bitch. Just say, no, I don't believe. What you need to do is, if you're reacting to the content, then you can laugh like a bitch. Laugh like a bitch! Okay. Does that make sense? No. I dropped a mug, guys. I dropped a mug. Okay.
It's a firm no. That is not the truth, and you know that's not true.
Wait, so do you feel like...
hold on, let me answer your...
Girl! Wait. Do you want...
Second thing, you then brought up, okay, women were at home, but they were pill popping. Well, you then have to acknowledge we're actually popping more pills now, right?
Hey! We're popping more pills now. Listen, go work, go broke, as South Africa is finding out. South Africa was broke long before it went woke, though. Okay, there.
Right, so we have actually increased our amount of pill popping. Women are having overdoses on opioids.
Hide the sausage. Sorry, that is a really good username. Sorry.
You then have to acknowledge we're actually popping more pills now, right? So we have actually increased our amount of pill popping. Women are having overdoses on opioids. And on top of that, since I think 1999, by rate, we are increasing.
Oh, we got a fact check button. Since 1999? A 2018 study found that women were more likely to report prescription opioid use compared to men. Okay, that's opioids. Okay, more pills. Nah, that's just one study that they brought us. That's cool. Fun. Good for you.
Increasing our opioid use compared to...
Okay, so she's actually bringing... Sorry, she did bring up the opioid use. Increased opioid use. P-oid. I don't even know how to spell it. Never mind, use it. Use. By women. Okay. Popping pills is all we know.
Men. So women are not popping pills less because we're going into the workforce. That's actually not true at all either.
We're popping more pills because we're going to work.
So we're also, like I said to you, consuming alcohol more and binge drinking more than we did in the 1950s, which is why I was trying to get her to say, we need...
I wasn't even alive. Yeah, I was maybe... Yeah, I wasn't alive when South Africa was first world.
To look at actually a reasonable...
But I'm cool with that.
Any reasonable metric of how we can define happiness, because it's hard, right? Are you happy, yes or no?
Sure, but wait, hold on.
Are you happy, yes or no? Well, I'm alive, and I chose to continue to be alive. I think that's pretty much... So maybe suicide is a measure of happiness.
We're actually avoiding what my original point was about...
Your original point was?
About rape being the signifier.
Okay.
Rape being the signifier. I don't know. I want to know how many people in that room think rape has reduced. Interesting. But she used rape as a signifier. Maybe that is the way we should do it.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please.
You've been voted out of the majority. It was nice hanging out. Gotta go get some coffee later, lads. Have a good one. Enjoy your coffee, Ringlow Juice, who is having coffee juice. Make sure that you don't have too much caffeine and you hydrate, okay? Right, so that was... the argument here was there is less rape, therefore women are actually happier. The argument here was... there is a loss of worth. questioning where worth is placed. Like who decides on worth. That was basically that. I think that's the argument I would take. Julian was just here is queer theory, and Samaya was women are safer because they're not in the house anymore. Okay, so who is this next person? What is the next argument going to be?
Return to your seat.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's Hat Lady. Ringlow's gone. She says, "Oh, except, what's her name? A weird haircut lady. Now there's Hat Lady."
Hi.
Hi, Hat
I like
Lady.
your hat.
Whitney Shanahan.
Nice to meet
You. People will comment on the hat. It's not that they technically like it. Women will just say, "I like your hat," because they're like, "I noticed your hat." That's basically what it means.
you.
I am
Wait, let me see who wore it best. Just hold on. There's ladies in chat, so you're gonna have to tell me I wore it best, because that's how that works. Wearing hats indoors is a red flag? Wait. Alright. Mine just flops a bit more. But let's see how it goes. You have to tell me I wore it better. Okay. And it's indoors. Okay. She's containing her knowledge. So am I. That's why mine's a bit floppy. It doesn't need. Okay, and this is and the hat I got in South Africa, so don't be upset about it. Okay. 6. Well, normal men don't want to have sex with objects, I would say. Okay.
fascinated by your claim that
Fascinated. Oh my god, you're so fascinating.
women have lost happiness since the sexual revolution since the 1950s. Do you think that there's any
Thank you. You see, this is how it's going. Are you going fishing? I'm going fishing for good arguments. Your hat is having a performance anxiety. Sun hat, it's more feminine. Look, it isn't supposed to be this floppy, I will say. It's just that I'll wear it in the water, so it falls flat. Yeah. That was a great, amazing ditzy US girl. That's the only US accent I can do, is the ditzy girl accent. I prefer a floppy brim. It makes for better insertion. Okay, let's go.
tie to happiness and freedom? And happiness.
Original point was
I am fascinated by your claim that women have lost happiness.
What is her name? Sorry. Instead of Hat Lady. Come on. Don't objectify her.
I like your hat. Whitney Shanahan.
Whitney Shanahan. Oh, that's a great name. Shanahan is the name of a house at the school I used to go to. Do you guys don't have color houses, do you? No, you don't. Okay, anyway. That's such a South African thing to say. Okay, Whitney Shanahan. She has a full name, bitches. All you other clowns don't know how to leave an impression. She's got a hat and a full name. She wore that on purpose. She was like, this is how you get recognized on a surrounded. You get an identifier. People do it. Okay.
Nice to meet you. I am fascinated by your claim that women have lost happiness since the sexual revolution since the 1950s. Do you think that there's any tie to happiness and freedom?
Do you think there's any tie? This is a good thing to get. Say freedom. If there is a tie between happiness and freedom, it seems like Candace's claims are trying to take away freedom from women. It does seem that she's going very far with it. Do you think there's a connection? Freedom. I think that is a nice angle to go after. Let's see how she does. She goes with it. Freedom doesn't always mean happiness, though. It's how you use your freedom.
And happiness and choice. Because since 1950s, since the sexual revolution, women have gotten exponentially more freedom and more choice. And for me, as a mother and as a woman, having the freedom to choose what I do, to make...
That is pure the feminism that I want. Yes. Freedom to choose. But also I will advise women not to be whores. That's what I'm saying. You can choose to be a whore. Cool. Just don't. And choice broke them. Choice is very difficult for us, okay? Have you ever asked me? You could try and ask me what I want for dinner. Okay. The happiness connection to freedom. Women have more choice now post-sexual revolution. 1950s. Okay. Is Candace stating that women shouldn't do X or should not be able to do X? Interesting. Let's look at how she phrases her claim. The sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy. I don't know. We need to. I think this is far off enough that you would need to clarify and say, okay, where do you think women's liberation should have stopped then? If you're upset with the sexual revolution, fine. Where do you think we should be? If it's made us unhappy, where would our happiness be? Like, let's enjoy what happens when we take your claim for truth. That would be quite a cool conversation.
My own destiny makes me infinitely more happy than, say, back...
Look at her, good girl. Whitney's like, fuck you with your infinitely. Hey Davina. But she's like, fine, it makes, because I'll say as myself, and she's like, look, I'm also a mom, so don't come and try and act like I'm a childless cat lady, okay? So she's like, I'm happy, and yeah, we are in the oppression Olympics, so we are going to bring our identity out. As a mom, and a woman, mom, I'm infinitely happier that I can make choices about my destiny. Okay?
Before the sexual revolution, when I couldn't get a bank account, couldn't get a home loan.
Okay, so yeah, this is a good way to see where Candace's line is. That's what I'm always interested in. Like, if you're gonna believe what you're gonna believe, cool. I just want to see up close what you believe, because I'm gonna probably believe what I'm gonna believe, and you're gonna probably believe what you're gonna believe. All we can really do is say, oh, yours is different to mine. Okay, so as a woman and I'm a diff, so she goes no bank accounts in the 1950s, as opposed to no. But I think what Candace might go with here is, oh no, that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about the sexual revolution. I talk about women giving away. The thing I'm upset with is women giving away sex for free. So then she should have phrased her claim to do with that. But obviously it seems like that's what they need to do. They need to do these very highly general claims.
I couldn't work outside the home, couldn't travel around without a man.
Work outside the home. Outside the home. Couldn't travel without a man. You know, there's places that exist like this now, but whatever. America. This is what we're talking
couldn't control my own reproduction. So
about. Couldn't control her own reproduction. Okay. I would want to know, Candace, where are you with these things? Probably she would be against birth control at all if she's Catholic. She might be that devout.
I feel that happiness, personally, my belief, is tied to our ability to have freedom. And I think that in the United States, protecting freedom and our individual freedoms is what's going to lead us to happiness.
Did you go to
Oh.
college?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Did you?
Yes, I did. So you have
Okay, did you have a college? Did you go to college?
a degree.
Absolutely.
Okay, so her response is, did you go to college? College. Yes, okay. Has a degree.
Now, when you went to college, did you go to college because it was simply something that you wanted to do? Or did you think that I have to go to college because in order to get a job, I have to have a college degree?
Okay, yes. College. Did you go to college for a job? To get, or just because you wanted to. Okay. Is she gonna try and say that she didn't have a choice but to go to college?
I went to college for art because I was fascinated.
Of course she went to college for art. Look, it's the same thing. I didn't do a BSc, I did a BA.
With art.
Okay. It's just answering my question. Did you go to college? Was that the only reason you went to college? Or did you think that I might want to do something in art, so I have to go to college, like for my career?
I went to school because I wanted to expand my horizons.
Okay, so she didn't go. No, so no. No, went not for a job. Went to school to expand her horizons. I'm forgetting how to spell horizons. Come now. Is that how it's spelled? Guys, remember I might stroke out. Okay. So where are we going with this? Where are we going? Where'd you guys... She went for fun. Yes, she did. I went for fun to expand my horizons. Yeah, horizons. Hey, I spelled it right. Thank you, Had the Sausage.
I mean, I think that's why most people go to university.
Oh, honey! Oh, that's why most people go to university. Okay. That's why most people go to university, just to expand their horizons. No. A lot of the time, you got to qualify. I think you could say a lot of people go to university in the arts for that reason, but qualification, on the other hand.
Why did you go?
That's actually not true.
That's not true, but she's like...
I went, and I think a lot of people go because there's a...
The Bankakoont! The Bankakoont makes me think you secretly want to be a Canadian. I do. There we go. Shh, don't tell anyone. Maybe Candace doesn't think sex is for fun. I don't think she does. She's like, no, it's only for reproduction.
a pressure.
So the moment she's had as many kids as she needs to have, that's that they no longer boinky boinky.
And if you don't go to college, you're going to be a failure.
It's a choice. Everything's a
Okay. Now we're still talking about the
choice. So
Okay.
taking away choices doesn't make people happier.
Yeah,
Taking
but
away
I'm
freedoms
actually
doesn't make people happier.
I'm disagreeing with you on the idea that people are feeling more free by financial pressure. I think financial pressure makes people feel remarkably less free.
So you
Okay, so she's basically saying people are not more she's bringing this it's related but not more free because of financial pressure. So first of all, we are going to have to put the premise that she says people go to college for jobs. go to college. This is her premise. In order to gain employment. Okay. People are not more free because of financial pressure. Okay. So the financial pressure that is placed upon a woman going to college doesn't make her happier.
No bank accounts again, women not to have credit cards?
I'm not
bank
saying that
accounts?
women shouldn't have access to credit cards or banking accounts. You're putting words in my mouth, so why don't you respond to the words that I'm saying?
Yeah, bitch. Wow.
People are feeling more free by financial pressure. I think financial pressure makes people feel remarkably less free.
So you want
Okay. It makes them feel less free. So she's like, so you want women to not have bank accounts? Look, at least we know now that she does not saying that. At least we know that that's not what she means by being against the sexual revolution. She's talking about giving away the goods for free, is what Candace is on about.
no bank accounts again, women not to have credit cards?
I'm
No
not
bank
saying that
accounts?
women shouldn't have access to credit cards or banking accounts. You're putting words in my mouth, so why don't you respond to the words that I'm saying?
I had a plan for my future. I did. Then my future had other plans.
Well, less financial pressure. If I don't have a bank account, that's a lot less financial pressure, I guess, right?
Financial pressure in terms of most people that go to college, and I'm counting myself among them.
What kind of woman who is dependent on her man is just about finances? Are you just not, you don't give a shit, it's up to him, huh? Like, you don't care how much money you're spending. Like, financial stress should be shared whether you are dependent or not. I know that the person who is the earner is under a lot more stress, but that does not mean the person who is dependent should just be sitting there going, well, that's fine, it's up to them. Like, you should also, you should be tied to your man in that, or the person who, your earner.
It's because typically, in order to get the job that you're being sold is going to make you infinitely happier and infinitely more free, it just requires a college degree. And most of these people, to be clear, have to put themselves, the majority of people have to put themselves into debt. And I don't think anybody would describe debt as a form of freedom, right?
Okay, so she's just like, put yourself in debt. College is a scam, basically. College equals debt equals sadness. But men can have the debt, I suppose. Men can have the debt, nah? Is that what you mean, Candace? The men can have the debt and they can deal with it. I think she obviously would say all college is a bit of a scam, but okay.
I don't think anybody would realistically say...
Let's get back to happiness. So we're here to talk about happiness and how the sexual revolution, and we're not talking about college debt.
I think it's important because we're talking about freedom. You just said that the reason why I feel happy is because I have more freedom. And I am saying that financial restraints and debt doesn't make people feel more free.
Okay, it would almost be like freedom comes with responsibility, and maybe some people are not ready for that responsibility, or maybe they shouldn't be given that responsibility. Maybe in her eyes, women shouldn't have that responsibility. But we're using finance and freedom to have a financial issues or whatever. We're using that as a proxy for the sexual revolution. She brought it up that way, but we should be going back to the cow and the milk and the sex part of it, because it seems like that's the spirit in which she made the claim. But okay, college debt equals sadness, and then we're just going back to you don't need a college degree.
Let's eliminate the debt. Let's eliminate college debt. Maybe we should have free college here in the U.S. That sounds great. Great idea.
Yep. So Candace accidentally argued for state-funded university. Yes. There she did. Isn't Candace shifting the goalpost here? We went from women shouldn't ought to and /ought to. US education system is bad without clearly explaining connections or why you change topics. It seems like a dodge. Okay, well the woman who did the thing that is that oh, actually she did it, yeah. She brought up choice. The reason that this happened is that she brought up choice as an indicator of more happiness. When we have more choices, we are infinitely more happy. That's what the woman brought. Okay, and one of those was control of reproduction, one of the no bank account, all of that sort of thing. So what Candace did is she went and asked her, did you go to college? Okay, and she tried to use this as an example of choice leading to, because lady over there brought choice up. She tried to use this as choice leading to more stress. Having more freedom leading to more stress. That's the way that she took. And then we're supposed to, because of using that discussion, we then disprove that choice always equals happiness. That's what they went into. What she was trying to do is this over here, saying here college equals dick equals sadness. Therefore, increased choice doesn't always mean happy, more happiness. So while she has somewhat moved it, she's moved to another analogy as opposed to women having increased choice about their bodies. Show us, and I think she could make a case for that. She didn't have to move the goalpost like you're saying here, Hydro. She could have actually said, no, keep it about sex, and say women having all this choice about sex, that's making them unhappy. But instead, what she did here is went a more financial route. I don't think that's a good point. I think you're right here. Yeah. She landed up, as they said in chat, she landed up accidentally arguing for debt forgiveness. But she was trying to go on about this college is where you're promised that this job you're going to get is that's going to fulfill you and whatever, but actually it takes away your choice. I don't think it was a good place to go. Her whole claim was more about sex anyway, so I don't know why she took this part. She went on this whole thing. This has been proven by some studies. People being given excessive amounts of choices can lead to unhappiness and bad outcomes. They did this with ice cream. You know what? That is a better argument to go with, right? But the argument she went with, it makes sense that she took this angle. Whitney basically said, if you have more choice, which is more freedom, then you're happier. But as you've said, there is an example. It's not necessarily more choice is always more happiness. There are unintended consequences to having more choices. I think that there is this difference between normalizing and saying, let's go for it. Let's make sure that women are just sexually forward. They must be like men sexually, versus giving women a bit more of choice. I think there's a golden mean in there. I think we're done with
I
time
love
one.
that idea. All right. Okay. Love it! Woo! Champion!
Woman, fucking
Favor the people! Girl. Very nice. All right, return to champion of the people.
Like Tinder. Yeah, Tinder should not exist. Good rule of thumb for life: don't go to college if the profession you want to get into doesn't legally require it. Yes, the reason that I went to college was it was legally required. But then again, I did when I was going to do computer science, it was also a way to bolster my qualifications that I'd actually done a whole last degree in it. But my main path was psychology, and you need several degrees for psychology. And I've properly fucked that path up now. Okay, remove from stage. I weighed the hair I cut off, 3 pounds. Easiest 3 pounds I've ever lost. Wow, that's a lot. Right, guys, so we are done with claim 1. Maybe I'll be faster tomorrow, maybe I won't. But we will continue with this. We won't be at this time. We will actually be starting a little bit earlier. So CPAFI, you won't be here for most of it. Sabaringu will probably only be back, be here for the end of it. Hey, Love It! Love It, I do need to get in touch with you to see if we can get our think on. I don't know what you would want to do a think on, but it would be your choice. So, let's go. Yeah, so remember, guys, we have done how many? Went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discussions. The main claim that we did here today, we discussed after we did an intro that went over all the claims. So go back and listen to that to see just first impressions of all the claims that came up. But this is the first one we did today, which was the sexual revolution has devalued women and made them infinitely less happy. One of the things that I thought we would land up talking about is objectification, and we did land up doing that because I was just trying to figure out what Candace meant by what she said here. And yes, it's kind of like, well, we have increased we ourselves have increased our objectification as females, and that has made us seem less valuable. We're easy come, easy go, little high, little low. No, we're just really we're too easy apparently. So yeah, okay, I subbed. I like the breakdown here. Good conversation. Thanks, Ragnar. Hope to see you tomorrow. So we the thing is, that's what we do. It's very in depth. It's very slow going. But what's really great is if you go and watch the original video and then come here with your opinions, and we work together to put them in. So I really appreciate the conversation as well. Really love the interactions in chat and discussions of Vikings as well. I'm sorry I didn't pay attention too much to that, but I'm sure it was a lot of fun. I like Vikings, especially Ragnar. Anyway, yes, so we'll see you tomorrow for claim 2. It will be earlier on. Just go and look for the scheduled stream. It'll come up. I'll put it up now. I think we're going to rehash a lot of what we spoke about. We spoke about in this stream. No career will give women as much joy and fulfillment as raising children. This one is a very difficult one for me to wrestle with because I kind of agree and disagree at the same time. I agree that many women will be very fulfilled by being a mother, but at the same time, I don't want to be a mother, and I'm not prescriptive about it. So the way that Candace is thwarting the feminists is a bit too extreme for me. Surprise. But I stereotype everyone online as fat. Do that. Yes, do that. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Great day further. The rest of the week, yeah, we continue with this. Look out for other videos and other scheduled things. But another thing, South Africans in the chat, look out for Wednesday. If you were here last week, you saw that I diagrammed the Stolen Ground documentary by Joe Emilio. Well, Joe is coming to talk to me on Wednesday morning. So that will be, look out for that stream. It's going to be good old fun and just a good discussion about serious South African things. Even if you're not South African, South Africa is very fascinating, and we are talking about property rights. So it's something that you would be interested in because you're not a commie, right? Right. Have a nice life, and remember to like the stream, and we'll see you tomorrow if you're good. Okay, thanks.
I'll see you next time, chat. I hope you had fun. We had a pretty great time, but now we're done. If you disagreed with me, that's okay. It's fine to be completely wrong and gay. Daisy was a menace with her tail in the frame, but she's a pretty kid.